And like that, we're back with another Unpacked presented to you by the To Be Fair Show and
the G Shit Podcast.
It doesn't matter how you feel.
all right, so we're back again, another Wednesday, and we have another good one. We got part one of another The Divide series. Well, today we're going to tackle the problem with liberals, the problem with the left. We can kind of define that out a little bit later, but again, before we get into it, I am your fence-sitting favorite feminist moderator, Q. I'm gonna allow my panelists to introduce themselves, starting with right here to my right, G. Talk to him.
What's good, everybody? It's G, host of the G Shit Podcast, where we focus on family, friends, finances, freedom, and our future, and fuck everything else. Check that out wherever you get your podcasts. Ha!
Charlotte Legend, talk to him.
What's up, everybody? How you doing? Happy Wednesday. It's your boy A Black. You can follow me at Mayor Charlotte, and happy to be here. Let's get it.
FBA Zone. Your mic muted, my brother.
So what's good? What's good? FBA Trey here. Don't follow me, but I'm looking forward to another opportunity to, intellectually spar with, some brothers about some, some politically pertinent social issues.
Got it. And last but not least, Johnny.
What up? It's your boy Johnny P, host of the To Be Fair Show. Glad to be here. Definitely looking forward to not only this week, but next week, just so we can keep it fair. But ready for another great conversation.
All right, got you. So before we jump into the icebreaker, I'll start off with this video, and then we can kind of react and have a conversation around it.
Black man, how we feeling about this agenda rollout by the Harris camp? She wants to provide $1 million to fully forgive Black entrepreneurs and others to start a business. She wants to champion education, training, and mentorship programs to help Black men get good paying jobs in high demand industries and lead their communities, including pathways to become teachers. Third, she wants to support the regulatory framework for cryptocurrency. That's interesting. And other digital assets so Black men who invest in and own these assets are protected. Fourth, she's launching a national health equity initiative focused on Black men that address sickle cell disease, diabetes, mental health, prostate cancer, and other health challenges that disproportionately impact people in our communities, particularly as men. Legalizing recreational cannabis and creating opportunities for Black Americans to succeed is a new industry. How do y'all feel about this 5-pillar plan right here? Irami says that Black men aren't the audience for Harris's Black man plan. Drew says Kamala dropped a Black male specific agenda and she's only running for president for 100 days. Trump has been running since 2015 and hasn't presented anything for Black men specifically. It's foolish to support him. Socialist MMA says, are Democrats serious right now? Kamala's agenda for Black men is a complete joke, with the part about cryptocurrency, legalizing that ZA, and the health disparities about sickle cell and prostate. Decoy Richardson asks, where is Donald Trump's plan for Black men? Ryan says, this how a lot of y'all was when Trump dropped that one-page platinum plan versus how a lot of y'all responded to Harris's 9-page plan. Should I go into the plan a little bit more? What y'all think? Let me know in the comment section.
All right, fellas. I think he actually gave some fair back and forth commentary as well. Kamala off the heels of Obama. I don't know where he was at. I guess he was at like a Black man. He was at a what?
He was in Pennsylvania when he was lecturing us.
Okay, yeah, he was in Pennsylvania giving the good talk to Black men, telling them and questioning if Black men want to vote for Black women or something like that. And on heels of that, Kamala, next few days, she dropped the plan for the Black man. How are y'all feeling? Trey, you muted.
Do you think she would have done this this is like damage control because Obama backfired so badly?
I guess like if I'm just going off of what she said, and I guess they were saying is that this was something that was already in the works and quote unquote. Well, this is her and Charlemagne. They just had an interview. Charlemagne posed the question like, how do you feel Obama stepping on your plan for Black men by saying the thing that he said the week before? And she said we've had this rolling out XYZ. Whether that's true or not, that's up for y'all to debate.
Yeah.
But nonetheless,
I'm glad we're not buying it. A lot of us aren't buying it.
Yeah. When I was playing, I wasn't moved by nothing like seriously. That's why this feels like PR for real. Some election joints kind of get a demographic that you got a lot of negativity in, and she's trying to cover all the bases. So they always got plans, but every time I hear something from her, like I keep saying, she already vice president. Like it's so easy for her to win the election by I'm gonna do something now. Like I can't do everything now between now and November, but as vice president, let me do something real quick that in effect right now. Like she ain't. Everybody got a plan, but as a black man hearing that stuff, none of that. Like, all right, 25,000 on crib, but y'all raising interest rates out here. So like, then who's eligible? All this fine print about what you can get. It's like just BS PR. That's how I felt about it. And then the dude Conscious Lee, I was surprised he didn't attack it. Like, nah. I said I was surprised Conscious Lee didn't like attack that for real, like he does everything else. Because usually, like he be going in on stuff, but I felt like he was trying to be neutral.
But Conscious Lee is like he's usually far left. Like he's closer to somebody that would be like a Kamala, but he'll usually be like a Kamala.
Which is why I know he did actually some bullshit.
Oh, okay, I got what you're saying.
And if it was coming from the right, he'd be going in on it. That's all I'm saying. He's trying to be neutral now because it's some bullshit. Everybody knows. Like, come on. That's Kamala got the authenticity issue right, because like everything be coming off as some bullshit. It's like, really, black man playing. This is what you about to do for us? Like y'all can't even get the law passed when we get shot to put the cops in jail. Like protect us from the police. Like y'all about to do something else? Like, come on.
Well, and here's my issue with it. It's like we're less than a month out. You've been president for since 2021, and it's like you waiting till it's a month out. Obama then already got him. Black men ain't stupid this time. We already like, wait a minute, y'all coming at us now, and then you roll this out 3 weeks for the election. Like it's kind of like they still treating us like a stupid voting block, which it's like we ain't really going for that at this time. Like you should be running on what you have done for black people, not what you're going to do. You've been in office.
So I guess with that said, G actually sent in a decent meme that does go down the line of this, as in like what they have done. I'll play a little bit of it. It's 5 minutes, so we'll get about a minute and a half into it, and I'll allow y'all to continue the conversation from there.
Start the cap.
When I think about hashtag we did that, and that's the word I use here. Here we go to my iPad, because I asked the White House, tell me exactly what you actually accomplished in 3.5 years for African Americans. I need everybody listening. I'm just going to go through this here. So they sent me, achieved lowest black unemployment rate on record, created 2.4 million jobs for black workers as of August 2024, lifted 400,000 black children out of poverty by increased SNAP benefits through updating the Thrifty Food Plan. Who wants to actually cut the SNAP program? Republicans. Grew black American business ownership at the fastest rate in over 3 decades. Triple the number of SBA-backed loans to black-owned businesses. Awarded a record $10 billion in federal contracts to black-owned small businesses in 2023. Invested more than $16 billion in HBCUs. Secured a $900 increase to the maximum Pell Grant Award, largest increase in the past 10 years. And here's the piece. That Pell Grant money is actually in addition to the HBCU money. Then approved the cancellation of almost $170 billion in student loan debt, rooted out racial bias in home appraisals, and closed the black-white home valuation disparity gap by 40%. And you'll hear me talk to Vice President Harris about that. reduce mortgage insurance premiums for FHA loans, saving 76,000 Black households $900 a year. Cut costs for high-speed internet to 5.5 million Black households with the Affordable Connectivity Program. Distributed $2.2 billion in financial assistance to over 43,000 farmers who experience discrimination. And of course, Stephen Miller, Trump.
All right. Well, that again, it goes on for about another 3 to 4 minutes. But nonetheless, I know that Johnny, you was speaking about what they have done. So, in all fairness, that'll be just in the ability to kind of answer some of that. Can't hear you, brother.
None of that is specifically for Black men, though. That's the Black community. We was talking about what you done. Like, this is a Black man plan, and then that's a Black community plan. We trying to, like, y'all are calling us out as a specific voter block, and we're asking, what have you done for this specific voter block, not just the community? And like, we appreciate it, but like, this for the Black men, and it's like we need that. And
okay.
I think this is.
It sounded like it wasn't a few things in there that would go directly to Black men.
Not just, but it wouldn't just go just to Black men. It could go to Black.
Oh, you want to just like only for Black men?
Yeah,
they got it. Yeah.
If you're gonna call out the voter block specifically, you should have specifically for the voter block.
That's right.
Okay. Funny as hell, man.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, because John, they be trying to knock you off your square, and you be right, bro. I feel you, but then they be trying to push you, bro.
This nigga funny as shit, boy.
You was spitting, bro.
G, it look like it's on you.
Oh man. What was the original? Are we reacting to the
to a culmination of both? Kind of like they segue themselves into each other.
So yeah, I think it was smart for Kamala to try and market to quote unquote having a plan for Black men. That makes sense. Where she went wrong though is like cryptocurrency, and it's like
that one. Keep going. I'm gonna just pull it up on the screen.
It's a couple pieces here where it's like and I put just for the listeners, I put the link for the 9-page document in the chat because it does go in a bit more detail than just those 5 high-level bullets. So people can take some time and educate themselves. But this idea of championing education, training, mentorship programs that help get good paying jobs, it's like, what? I thought they've been doing this. I thought, in that a message from a long time ago. Like I could have sworn that niggas claim to have been doing this. And you can give. Why are we calling forgivable loans versus grants? Like, what the fuck is a forgivable loan? I don't even.
Because you gotta meet the requirements, probably. If not, them shits is about to go on your credit.
So it's like exactly. So it's like either make it a grant and give it to the entrepreneurs. Like I just don't like some of the language, and I think I do think the legalizing marijuana is beneficial, but they shouldn't have put that in the agenda as a checkpoint for an agenda for Black men as well as cryptocurrency. Like
they talking to them P13s.
they definitely like had a quote unquote pretty good idea with terrible execution.
Got it. Okay. So nonetheless, fellas, it seems like y'all had a spirited debate in the chat that I love for y'all to bring to the forefront about the idea of legalization of or decriminalization of marijuana, and if that is an actual viable point. Trey, G, I'll let it kick it off with y'all two brothers.
Man, why are we the face of weed, bro? Like, it's an insult because on one hand, like two things. I think she's doing this because she knows she's about to lose. I think she's going to lose like in a landslide. And they're going to, of course, what they're going to do is they're going to blame us. So they're over here trying to frame it as like, we're the unruly black men, and she tried to do something for us. We didn't want it. Don't y'all like weed? I tried to give y'all some marijuana. Isn't that what y'all want? And then we still not voting for it. So then they complain us. And the other thing they're trying to work, I see is like, this is a big sign that what we're doing is working, because all the other years, all we do is just vote Democrats and they don't offer us anything. This time, she didn't really offer us much, but at least she mentioned us. This is a long way from, I'm not going to do anything to just help black people. No. Now she has a whole plan for black people. So, look, put a little pressure on them and, don't just give it up so easy and make them work and look at the progress we're making. It's not enough, but, at least it's in the right direction. But as far as marijuana goes, bro, it's not going to be just for black men. And also, they have it right down the street where I can go get a blunt. I can go get a pre-roll. I can go get a drink. I can get all that right now. So it doesn't really benefit me. That's not going to sway me at all. It's not like there's anything I can't do. It'd be one thing if she said that they're going to, at the state level, free all the people that are in jail because of, possession and stuff like that. But most people aren't even in jail for federal marijuana charges. So it's just like she's trying to trick us because she thinks we like weed so much that we're just going to have an emotional reaction and just give up our vote just so we can get high, bro. If you're not insulted by that, then, bro, I think we got to understand when we're being mocked.
Yeah,
she got Megan Thee Stallion twerking. She's trying to offer us marijuana. Bro, we need a
cryptocurrency. It's
just telling a certain base, a certain block, what she think they want to hear. But she always keeps showing how out of touch she is. It's like Trump tell his base whatever to rile them up. That's her version. It's like, all right, we'll give y'all niggas $20K, some weed. We might get your loans off. We're still working on that. Make sure you qualify. It's just some bullshit.
You're right. She'll give us a little weed. She'll give Willie Brown a little something else, and then bam, now she in the presidency, bro. It's crazy.
I love marijuana, but it's in policy right now with what's going on in the world, that doesn't benefit. It's easy to get weed. It's easy to smoke. It's easy to do whatever you want with that. Unless you about to give us fucking stocks in it when you legalize it. It don't really matter at this point because nobody's tripping on that. Give people something tangible that affects everybody. Student loans don't affect everybody. Housing don't affect everybody. Give grants or give something that everybody can use for general purpose. But they pinpoint things, put all this language around stuff, and they're not going to really do it. Because if she was going to do it, it would have been done. You could have. Then people defense is oh, she don't have no power, even though she's the vice president. One of the second most powerful positions in the world. At least you don't got no influence in their office to hey, look at this black man playing now. Let's do this 25. Why she couldn't have done none of this stuff? I just don't see it happening. Like she said, he's desperate. 1 month in, now it's this magical black man playing. It just they unrolled out an album, a new album just dropped. We got something for y'all too. Weed, money. I done gave y'all the hoes with Megan. What else y'all niggas want from me? And, she go get a lot of niggas for that. But, I don't know. I talk to a lot of people, and I'd be surprised I'm not rocking with her sometimes. So, it might be a surprise come November. But,
I don't. Go ahead.
Now, I'm just the pandering is strong, but they all do it to all bases. But I think they underestimating how intelligent the populace has grown. Most people are still idiots, but they're not as dumb as they used to be. But the politicians still think let's just give them this cookie cutter marketing that we usually do, and people are kind of seeing it through it.
Yeah, I agree with a lot that everybody said. This is not for black men. Many people smoke weed. This isn't a law that's gonna be specific for us. However, it is still a really good thing that she's legalizing it at the federal level. So it's like, can both things not be true? Like I said, this was just terrible execution. They didn't package this up right. They didn't package it up right and present it the right way. She could have went and talked about how she's gonna be pro legalization without making it for black men. She could have just talked about that as just a policy period. And I think it would have got a pretty favorable support, because
Mhm.
I do think one thing we're not considering here is, like, at the end of the day, when you're in these communities that are filled with, you know, underserved populations, everybody in their mama, if they not smoking, know somebody that do. And the way that they use marijuana to, like, make excuses to search your shit illegally, to stop you illegally, to even just put you in jail. They talk about weed being a gateway drug. It's really a gateway for criminality is what it is, because they find a way to get you in the system off of some minuscule weed charge. And then after that, now, once you're in the system as a black man and you didn't have, say, enough money to get a lawyer to help get the case dismissed, get it expunged off your record. I'm just talking from some experiences here. When you don't have the ability to do that on the back end, now your opportunity to get a quality job. Like for example, I just share a little story. When I was coming out of high school, I got my first weed charge, senior year of high school. That alone would have stopped me from getting federal funding with the FAFSA, and potentially stopped me from pursuing a 4-year degree, just because of this minuscule weed charge of a young man 17 years old. And it happens more than what I think people acknowledge. So the fact that they won't be able to use that to target black men and from a criminal standpoint, I think should be acknowledged. But again, this black man package and agenda is terribly packaged. It is not put together in a way that speaks to black men, and the policies in here are not unique for black men in the community. They are things that ultimately would go to multiple communities if they were implemented. It wouldn't be just for us.
So you don't find this insulting at all, G? That,
I
like,
just
I
said it was terrible execution.
So I got you. I didn't know if you wanted to go as far as, like, being, you know, like, feel like you're being kind of mocked. It's almost like, if I have a plan for white people, I'm a legalized meth. Like, bro. Like,
What I found insulting was I found what Obama did more insulting than this mishit of an execution of a rollout. Personally, if we talk about being insulted, that was insulting. This was just like, clearly, it's almost like you can. It's like, how can I say, you can tell they're trying. So it's like, but I know you're not there, but at least you tried. I can see your effort, so to speak. Obama, I couldn't really see the effort. I couldn't really see the angle. Couldn't really just see anything there. At least I can see that in theory. Would you agree, Trey? It is a good idea in theory for Kamala to have an agenda specific for black men. Just that principle on itself. Would you agree that would be a positive?
Oh yeah, as I was saying, that's the progress that we earned by not giving up the vote so easily. So now we're forcing her hand to do something. It's a weak attempt, but at least it's the first attempt. So
yeah, that's all I'm saying. At least they're like trying to say we're quote unquote trying, but the effort is terrible. It's just terrible execution.
Yeah, you know, he said Barack Obama, Kamala, birds of a tether, bro. I mean, it's the best they can do. They don't really understand us, so the best they can do is they're actually trying.
And they say the FBA ain't divisive. All right. So
FBA
nonetheless,
is a lineage, bro. It's a lineage.
Is that
so? It's not. It's not.
I'm not even.
That's Fed talk.
It's all right. You won that battle. I ain't interested in going down the line.
Fed talk,
you niggas are
Fed talk, fence sitting, feminist Quint. That's a lot of F. I'm stacking them up. I ain't even mad at it. But so G, I guess I'll lend this to you, and then I'll throw into, I guess, the follow up to where we're at right now. So is that something that can sway your vote?
Not alone. That in itself, because the way that I'm looking, that was already a part of one of the person's agendas that I was already thinking about supporting. So like, that doesn't get me anything that, say, other candidate that I'm thinking about wasn't talking about giving me either. And let's say even if it was different, that alone, it does at least get me to listen more. Like it it helps me like say, okay, let me see what else you got coming here in the next couple of weeks. I might hold off on voting as early as I would, might give some more time to hear more. But like I said, I can applaud that.
So for you, it was a step in the right direction.
That policy is positive. I can't like we can talk about how it's insulting to package it how it was, but legalizing that alone, I think is a positive.
Gotcha. So I guess to be where we're at right now, and again, this is partially hosted by the To Be Fair show. So to be fair, I did just get called Blagger on Friday, but I guess I got to jump on the other side for a little bit.
Me too.
Oh no, Johnny was he was throwing out conspiracies. I was proud of you, brother. But so I ask y'all this, insulting. So would you say with Trump naming like his plan for Black America, the Platinum Plan, Trump not properly executing on when he was in office, really getting tangibles for Black people, and yeah, I mean, just kind of like leaving that where it's at. I'll kind of toss the question: what policies does Trump have specifically for Black men? I know that was a contention that she's not specifically doing anything for Black men. And then the follow up to that would be: are Black men throwing their vote to Trump for nothing? If you don't have a thing specifically for Black men that he's doing.
No, because Trump, first off, even if he was going to give us nothing, if both sides are going to give us nothing, really, I'd rather have the person that's going to give us nothing and close the borders and deport all the migrants, illegals, and undocumented people. So that in itself is like not throwing your vote away. And also, it's a big middle finger to the Democrats who have taken advantage of us for this whole time, and it'll teach them to give them some act right. And it'll also prevent them from their grand plan, which is to do mass amnesty and or fast track the citizenship, which would give them another voter demographic, so that way they can continue to ignore us, but they don't have to deal with any consequences. So.
Gotcha. So it sounds like you said no, he doesn't have anything specifically for Black men, but you like his policies in general.
No, I didn't say he doesn't have anything for Black men, but I'm saying even if he doesn't, like, just
well, I guess the first question was just asking the question. Like, this is asking the question.
Oh, because I was talking about, is it throwing your vote away? And I'm saying no, it's not throwing your vote away, because we get plenty of consolation prizes with Trump, at least. But as far as what he has for us, it's a platinum plan, and also just the people that he's spoken.
But that wouldn't be specifically for Black men, right?
The platinum plan isn't specifically. Oh, it's for the Black community.
Yeah. Because I'm going off of what Johnny's response was. Like, that's Black community shit. That ain't for Black men. So he ain't really respect it. So I was just trying to make sure I keep it fair.
I get that, but I don't really think Kamala is really for the Black community. The stuff she has for Black men, it says in the fine print, is for Black men and others. So that can mean anybody. And Trump, I think that as far as the delineation movement, he started that. He's been delineating before us. He said they're from the dump hole countries, but Black Americans, we built this country and we didn't get the credit that we deserve. So I think that
so Trey, I guess that like a good pushback to Trump, and even like the policies that he did drop into the Black community. A lot of people say that the opportunity zones was nothing more than an opportunity for gentrification to happen, and that's more or less what that was. It exploited the Black community more than it did help.
That's true. I mean, if we're gonna get gentrified, I'd rather be Brad and Karen than some migrants that get free free government assistance and they get prioritized and they're willing to work for lower wages. I mean, at least it's more of the same. So it's not making it worse.
You want Starbucks, not a bodega.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were just against getting exploited and wanting something, but so that's like the lesser of two evils thing.
There's always nuances that I think you have to consider.
Okay, Johnny, I'll toss it to you. What policies does Trump have specifically for Black men? And if he does not have any, are Black men moving to or voting for Trump for nothing?
I mean, he has the platinum plan, but that's one of those things that's not necessarily just for black men. To me, honestly, this Kamala thing might be the only thing that like specifically pointed us out. Wasn't really that good. But as far as Trump, I think what Trump offers black men and why black men are going there, it's because he's not as necessarily like giving us anything as black men, but as men, I think that's where
What would you
a
say
lot
he's
of
giving us as men?
well, just as men, because you hear the right. They always say the straight white man is under attack, and I think it's very similar for the straight black man. It's with a lot of the intersectionality that comes in the Democratic, with just the policies they push. Sometimes we feel that we are left out and our interests aren't necessarily addressed, and this is just another alternative where maybe we feel a little more hurt.
Trey
Got
look
you.
like a
So, I
proud
guess-
dad.
You say what?
Trey look like a proud dad. That nigga looks so proud.
Nah,
That nigga
I
looks so proud right now, Johnny.
I underestimate y'all, bro.
Oh man, that nigga
Got you.
proud, boy.
So I guess before I go to G, so that, what would you say that he's doing specifically for men that falls inside like what you're saying right there? The thing that's for straight black and white men.
I mean, I don't think it's like I say. I don't think he came out with a policy for straight men. I don't think there's like.
Are you saying he's just gonna make you feel better to be a straight black man?
Well, no, I think some of the policies, like I think a lot of men are naturally conservative with the way that we think, and I think he offers us a.
But that's why I think we're going in a circle. I keep asking. So, what policies are you speaking about? Like the tariffs? Are you talking about immigration? Are you like what?
Well, I mean,
what
as a black
saying
man
is-
in America, the immigration would be like one of the biggest things to help us get our community back. But I don't think it's nothing specifically that he said like just for men. But I think the leadership there and like just the conservative nature just makes us lean a little more to it. I don't have a specific policy. You might have to ask Trey, but I don't got a specific policy.
Gotcha. G. So I guess I'll ask the same question again. What policies does Trump have specifically for black men? And if not, does that mean that black men are or I guess let me frame that better. Are black men throwing their vote to Trump for nothing? Can't hear you.
He don't have no plan specific for black men that I've seen. I haven't seen anything even marketed like as in, hey, this is what I'm gonna do for black men specifically.
I know he did also quote that she's trying to pass a reparation bill for a minority group or something like that. He is anti reparation as well.
So
It's on his website.
Yeah. So I'm not pro Trump for sure. But at the same time, I wouldn't say you're not throwing your vote away voting for Kamala and you're throwing it away voting for Trump. I think so. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's like that.
Say that one more time.
So people had this kind of idea that like if you're voting for Trump, it's like throwing your vote away kind of thing, as if like voting for Kamala is not throwing your vote away. Like they try to position it to black men like you must not be clear in the head if you vote for Trump. You must not make sense, or you know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't agree with that. I think that black men in the community have a right to vote how they vote for whatever reason they want to vote. If they don't like one candidate and they want to vote for the other, I don't think it's throwing the vote away at all. But I'm not going to sit here and say, I think where I do see, if I was to kind of like give a take here, I think black men are treating Trump, they're making this mutually exclusive. And it's like their frustration with the Democratic Party doesn't have to equal support for Trump. And I think that's where the misstep is. It's like, okay, yeah, we need to be vocal and strategic about how we deal with the Democratic Party, but we don't need to then like give fuel to these like these folks who support white supremacist candidates getting elected within their party, like that clear alt-right types of folks. Like I'm not with alt-right, none of that type of shit. Like if you're okay with that sort of mindset and behavior, like spreading, I don't want to lend my support to that either. So I don't really see this. I don't really see how black men will be so like pro-black people, but then side with an entity like Trump, when in reality he's not pro-black either. Like he's just as pro-black as Kamala. Like they two sides of the same coin.
Gotcha. And I guess before I move off of it, and me asking the question, I was asking it because it sounded like the sentiment was it'll be throwing your vote away if you voted for Kamala on the panel. So I just wanted to do the inverse. So I guess I'll ask you, because it sounded like you said it wouldn't be throwing your vote away for Trump, which is cool. Do you think that it'll be throwing your vote away if you vote Democrat in this election?
No, I ultimately, I don't think throwing your vote away is going to be determined by which candidate you choose.
Got it. All right, Black, actually the same question. What policies does Trump have specifically for black men? And are black men throwing their vote away if they vote for Trump for nothing? Can't hear you.
Yeah, he don't have no policies for black men. I mean, nobody do. Like there's nobody making policies for one group of people. Like they make policies that affect a group of people, but it's like it's not a policy for white women or a policy for white men or for Chinese men. So when you say black men, like G said, the perfect word, marketed is marketing. Like you're not doing nothing for black men, you're doing something and you're marketing to men, but these things are gonna benefit, or everybody will be able to benefit from it. Like it'll be different if you're legalizing weed only to black men, but it's still illegal to white men. Like, you know, then it's like, oh, okay, that's different. Like you, but it's not that. So they market it is going to benefit a group of people, but making it seem like it's just for y'all. But we know that everybody's gonna be able to benefit from it because you know you're not gonna be coming in the bank and be like, oh, this is only for black people right here, you know, like this shit's not gonna happen. So it's to me, it's like it's not throwing your vote away. It's giving you the illusion of choice because it's all pageantry at the end of the day. It's like the highest form of it, from when you trained on it, from homecoming queens to college and all these different things where people are given these titles, but they don't really do anything. Their job is to maintain the status quo and give the masses the illusion of choice, the illusion that they have some type of effect. But you're all throwing your vote away because you don't know where your vote is going. You know, you don't know your shit's been tabulated, and you really don't know. So if you choose to do it, I feel like whoever you vote for, all right, some people fought for it, cool. But they fought for it because they didn't have it. And when you don't have some shit, you think, all right, if I get it, I'm gonna be able to make change. But once you get it and they changed up the rules and moved the goalposts, then it don't matter no more. So we want to respect your ancestors for fighting for something, but y'all didn't know that like here in 2024, our vote still would fucking move a needle, you know, and it don't. So no matter who wins, no matter who you vote for, black men, our position gonna be the same in this country. Like these motherfuckers out to get us, no matter who at the top. And as long as a black woman is parading around with a goofy ass white man, I'll never trust her playing for the black man because you don't know the black man, you didn't love the black man, you ain't procreate with the black man. I don't even see your family on no interviews. I don't know what you know about the black man. So she's not genuine. He ain't got no plan. They never have no plan for the black man. So it's like it's marketing at this point. What can we
do? Quick question, A Black.
Yeah.
Does Montel Williams count?
That's the only black Kamala got in it.
Nah, Willie Brown.
Oh yeah,
Willie Brown. Oh, I'm
not even trying to like shade her, but it's like you gotta give more credit.
Oh, that's the old man.
And she was on that campus. She was on that campus that you got on your chest there and pledged one of your.
So was Diddy.
Divine 9.
Trey, stop.
It ain't how you start, it's how you win. It's who you solidify. And it's not just her, you know, it's Kataji. It's the
oh Lord.
it's all of these women and high places of power with white men beside them. And that's why there ain't no plans for black men, because when the black women get in power, they got a white man beside them. So
but a lot of the black men got white women beside them. If we're gonna be fair,
but what power?
If we're gonna be fair,
what positions of power do? Because black women do not vote for black men with white wives. Only black men do that because we have a gynocracy where it's a problem when we do it, but when they do it, it's not. So
rewind. That's a note to last week.
We already know the statistics that black men marry black women overwhelmingly high. So, like, it's not even about that. It's just like, yeah, we got black men in power with white women. We got black men in power that still have black wives. But all of our black women in power are either lesbian or they got white men.
or tethers.
Where's their double?
Or both.
I had to look it up. That is an interesting observation. I guess the black man with the most power. They said that his wife wasn't a woman, but she was black. So I guess
you said you gotta look it up again. What you gotta look up, Q? We just gave you all these examples. Like, all
right. So when we say positions of power, black men, I don't know who we'd be referencing. So I don't know. Outside of Obama. And then when we say black women, I know we got like AOC and like two other them and Kamala, but I don't know who else we'll be talking about. That's all I'm saying.
They got white dudes, yeah.
But who are the other black men in power that we'll be referencing? That'll make it easier for me to understand.
Tim Scott,
but he's not really.
Tim Scott ain't got a he got a black wife.
No, he doesn't. But he's not in power. You saw him,
and I know Mark Robinson. No, actually, Mark Robinson, the one that want to bring slavery back. I think he got a black wife.
He don't want to bring slavery back, bro.
Let me ask this. Let me ask this to the Trump supporters. Y'all gonna vote for Mark Robinson too?
What, he didn't say he wanted to bring slavery.
No. Answer my question, my nigga. Are you voting for Mark Robinson? Please look at the camera and just say yes or no.
Who's he running against? I have to see who he's running against.
Oh, bro. So you telling me you're not informed about the governor's race in your state of North Carolina? Are you a South Carolina resident? Is that what you're saying? You gonna cop out the South Carolina residency?
No, I just updated my voter registration.
So we could have some local Democrats. We could have some local.
So are you gonna vote for? Is it Stein?
Jill Stein.
Not Jill, but is it Josh Stein? That's running for governor against Andrews. Are you gonna, regardless of are you gonna vote for that conservative Republican representative for governor, Mark Andrews, when you vote for Trump?
Josh Stein,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe.
That's terrible.
Now I will say this though.
This dude is the most off-code brother. Like,
I don't know who he's running against now. I don't know. I'm
he also said white people owe us reparations. You can't vote for that, Trey.
No, I'm not. Yeah. I'm not voting on that one. I'm not voting.
You forgot about that one.
I will say this though. I lean a little more. I lean a little more Democratic on local elections for the most part. For the most part. Now, if it's like the federal government,
tell me why.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept.
Because like I think the country was set up for small government. So like a conservative mindset is supposed to be on the states and the local level to decide everything that we go for. And I think like being a little more progressive in individual aspects helps, but as an overall arching theme, I think we should push for smaller government and a little less regulation and let people kind of do what they want to do and not have these big rules.
Well, all the states gonna get the money from now.
But yeah, and you're gonna vote for local liberals that want to like create more programs and waste more money versus like stripping out the roles. You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't the conservatives be the one to make sure that was the case versus the liberals?
But a lot of time I think local conservatives are like a little harsher and with the punishments and it's a little more punitive, and you see a lot of laws that are like targeted at Black people that just want to punish us, and a lot of the local progressives they give a little more grace towards the Black community, and that's just one of the
from the law. I agree from the law standpoint for sure.
No, I agree with that too. Locally, more liberal.
Yeah, that's all I got. That's all I have.
You don't really have a choice in it being around Charlotte anyway. Pretty much every city's liberal.
Kind of, yeah.
Do you think? I mean, Charlotte might. I mean,
we liberal, bro. We got like 3
Charlotte's gonna be
blue.
Charlotte's gonna be blue. Like Raleigh's gonna be blue, but like it's so
Asheville gonna be so blue. Big.
Pause. That like and so wealthy in Charlotte that it might be blue because there's a lot of like people, but it's not like. It's got to be a lot of Republicans, all that financial services going on in Charlotte. I got all them bankers, like that's Trump's alley right there. It's got to be.
A lot of that new money is very liberal. Like you go down through some of them neighborhoods, it's Black Lives Matter. Like a lot of that new money is very little. Old money conservative, but a lot of that new money that's in Charlotte, from what I see and the support, is very good.
Yeah, Charlotte not going to be conservative, bro. It's like.
Well, yeah, no, like big city metropolis, whatever you want to name it, is ever going to be.
Shoot, maybe Chicago because they are hot with the Democrats.
No, they super liberal. They're super blue.
I'm talking about the people. They're trying to. They've taken the brunt of the migrant crisis,
but they super blue.
I'm saying like they're actually going against. There's a campaign right now where they're going into city halls. It's always I think it's like Mayor. No, Adams is New York. I forgot the guy that's in Chicago, but they're on his neck, bro. They're talking about voting him out. They're calling for Trump to come down there. They're calling for like Black people who they close down their schools and their after-school programs, all other stuff to bring in migrants. They are very vengeful against Democrats. So I think we may see some changes there. But again, I guess that just might be the city council because the Black people I don't know if they're the majority in Chicago, but the people that are like in these neighborhoods that are deprived of resources already and they're being overwhelmed with migrants, man, I highly doubt they're going to be voting for Kamala to continue the problem that they're complaining about.
Gotcha.
I'm not seeing the videos and interviews.
Gotcha. All right, so I think we've kind of unpacked that opening statement. So with that said, though, I think that we've hit on a couple terms that will work to where I like to segue the conversation to. I did hear the word progressive. I did hear alt-right. And I think that this leads us a little bit before we get into the actual conversation about the left, about liberals. The horseshoe theory. I think that's probably something that's fitting. There's also a Hill theory that kind of coincides with the horseshoe theory, but just basically the horseshoe theory says that the far left and the far right are closer together than they are to the center of the political spectrum. Just searching the internet, so I found something that I thought was a little witty. I'll put like 1.5 minutes of it, and then we can get into the conversation.
What are you watching? I tell you what I'm not watching, the NFL. Oh, yeah, I refuse to watch that too, actually, because of how they handled the Kaepernick situation. By the way, get that sheepskin off your freaking face. Oh, here he goes. God help us if God were real. Oh, of course. You're kind of an uneducated idiot if you believe God is real. You're an idiot if you don't believe in God. Because there's not enough proof. But speaking of proof, I think it's time we start proofing some of the media here. Misinformation, Joe Rogan, anyone? Oh, here we go. Classic far left, someone who doesn't believe in freedom of speech. Oh, I'm all for it. We need it for all. That's why I think we need to discuss critical race theory in our schools. Well, let's not get crazy. I believe in freedom of speech. As long as it aligns with my beliefs and opinions. Seriously, Joe Rogan, I mean, another white man, very powerful. What else is new? There's nothing wrong with a white man in charge. I prefer it, actually. Nothing wrong with it. Yes, there is. What are you watching? Tell you what I'm not watching.
But nonetheless, he goes on for about a good 3 to 4 minutes of just comparison points where they end up landing at the same spot, whether it's the general trust of government, policies where both of the extremes seem to hit at similar spots. So I'll start with this question: is the far left and the far right equally as bad?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think I think it's like it's the same. It's the left wing and it's the same bird. Like they both, you got to have both of them in order to fly. I think where you see black men and the shift from Democrat to Republican, liberal to conservative, left to right. I don't think it's necessarily like any like policy or thing, but I think people are realizing that like they're both evil, and in order to be balanced, you have to have weight on both sides. You have to have skin in the game on both sides. That's the only way that you push shit forward. Like, and I think that's where like black men can be leaders in trying to shift our vote as a collective to make them do stuff for us. If we just continue voting Democrat, they're not going to do anything. If they see the numbers dwindling because we're voting more conservative, they're going to naturally have to do something more for us as a collective. So I think it's the same bird, but if you only on one side of a plane, it's going to always crash. You got to be balanced.
Man, one thing I'm starting to notice, it seems like the left is more hostile to black men than the far right, which is kind of crazy.
You talking about like the Nick Fuentes is and like the guys that are like the race realists that say that black men's skulls are small and they like are intent for criminality.
Right, born criminals.
But they say that, but then the other side, like when we try to, consider other like whatever options are like voting wise, they think that we're dumb too. And then they're open about it on the news, at least the far right. They're not on
but he's just not allowed to be there. But
out there.
I agree with that part. But are you saying that that's worse than them saying like genetically black people are inferior?
No, I'm saying I've seen Nick Fuentes sit down and have an intellectual conversation with black people about black issues and have like a good faith conversation. But I haven't. If you sit down and talk to someone on the left, a far left person about black issues, like they will start, talking like in a condescending tone, telling us we ain't black and stuff like that. So you can't even.
Where'd you see Nick Fuentes do that at?
He had a debate with Tariq Nasheed, and then there was also a documentary.
All right, so I haven't seen that.
And there's also a documentary called Race War by Jason Black, and he sits down with somebody that's older than I think Jared Taylor, I think, and he's an infamous white supremacist, and they just have a conversation like they speak and like they speak candidly and openly about white supremacy.
Bro, so you're saying are you saying you don't mind Nick Fuentes, or you so like I'm trying to.
Of course, I'm not saying I don't. I'm not saying Of course, I mind Nick Fuentes. I think a lot of his mental.
Are you saying like you're cool that he said it inside like a polite way?
I would rather sit down and have a debate with somebody who will be intellectually honest and talk in good faith. Like if you're a white supremacist, be that and say that and be open. Don't be a sneaky white supremacist like the liberals are, and then attempt to have a good faith conversation. Not even attempt to have a good faith conversation. Just talk down. You know how like the Malcolm X speech where they talked about the white liberals being more dangerous than the conservatives because you got the wolf who will attack you and you have the fox that'll pretend to be your friend and then kill you. You know what I'm saying? Go give you a hug and then slowly put a knife in your back versus saying who you are so you can see them coming. I think it's easier. I'd rather deal with that type of hostility because again, I've seen people where black men have conversations with people on the far right and we both agree that this migrant issue is a problem for black people. I mean, for the nation, I've even seen where some people that are, like alt-right, they see that we're giving all these billions of dollars overseas and then the migrants, and they're like, well, I mean, we really can't say we don't have money for reparations if we're doing that. I would rather they give it to you guys than to give it to
I ain't heard nobody say that.
I've heard it.
Me the clip.
I've heard it, bro.
I ain't never heard no alt-right say nothing like that, bro. I gotta see that clip.
Yeah, like the only thing that's interesting because like I agree and I do have the Malcolm X clip loaded up. But it is interesting to say that I guess you put the far left as worse than the Nick Fuentes's that are telling you, even though they're saying it nicely, that you are inferior, that having sex with you is like having sex with a dog. Like he has a list of like these like crazy things that he says at a nice tone, but it does denote that he looks at black people in general as an inferior being.
You probably prefer,
and he says it like literally, and he has like his good faith stats that he said. Well, I don't know. I guess maybe if you're saying good faith,
Yeah, he's
him saying that black people are innate to criminality and having him saying that politely, that is that a good faith conversation?
Bro, if one side is saying that, the other side, they don't say that. They just write a crime bill that treats you that way. And then they try to trick you into voting for your own demise. Give me Nick Fuentes so we can have
So it sounds like you much rather hear from Nick Fuentes than Candace Owens, for example.
Candace Owens, she's not a liberal. They're both right wing. So
I know but you're very critical of her. But yet you're giving Nick Fuentes some like bail here, seemingly. I'm just trying to see critical. Like,
my problem with Candace Owens is she's used as the black face for these people, these white supremacists to hide behind. Like they encourage her to talk down on black people, and they say, "Well, oh, it's okay. She's a black person said it." So I think she's like a tool for them, and nobody likes a traitor. So I think the way white people might look at a Benedict Arnold, that's how I see Candace Owens versus the way they see a person like another American, a regular British person. Like they would probably see a traitor is worse than an enemy because a traitor is somebody that's sneaky. I'm just talking about being straight up. Like Nick Fuentes is straight up with how he feels, versus the sneaky racism. I won't say I can respect it, but man, honesty goes a long way, bro.
Gotcha. And I guess my only other pushback would be, do you think that the far left is the sneaky racist, or is it the limousine liberal?
What's the difference?
So far left progressive is the intersectionality community. That is like the everybody is a victim community, which is different than the like the limousine liberal, which is like the white person that has a bunch of money and like for moral good, he's just saying, or he's voting blue just because. Like he doesn't necessarily care about the thing. They are different. And even their like what they support does line up differently.
It's like a Bloomberg versus like, AOC.
Yeah, like far left is like trans and shit like that. Far left, like it goes like it's a little bit different in comparison to like establishment Democrats that kind of just go with the thing and say that we're going to reform, but don't specifically push real bills. You get what I'm saying?
Sort of, but it's like a distinction that doesn't really make too much of a difference. Like it's like one's running it through the middle, the one's like doing a sweep. Like both of them it's still a run play. Both of them disguise. They pretend to be on your side, or they pretend to have this bleeding heart situation, pretend to have your best interest, but they really don't. One of them is a far right, far left, kind of like.
Well, kooky. I think there's more extreme views between the two, and I think that's what I was trying to like point at the question. Like if we want to compare like close to centrist left and right, I think that there's like good critique on both sides as well. In which I think that'll be more so where you're at right now. Do you get what I'm saying? Where I wouldn't directly compare Nick Fuentes to establishment Democrat. In comparison to, I would compare him to a raging college student that is promoting that they, and gender fluidity, because those are the extremes of the ideology in comparison to something that's a little bit closer to center, to where like people are figuring out the nuances. Do you understand what I'm saying now?
Not really.
Do you think that like regular Republicans are on board with race realism?
What is race realism?
The fact that the Nick Fuentes, you know Nick Fuentes, so like you understand the idea that the Anglo-Saxon white man is the superior man of the world, and I think maybe they civilized everybody. It's like some like weird little
There's a
rabbit
group of
hole
them
of
that
things.
think that based off
Yeah,
their religion, but
even though he's not Anglo too, because his Fuentes is like
I am not
Spanish
here
name.
to like give any bail to him. So
Yeah. The limousine liberal versus the far left. Man, I don't know, man. I think it's just two different types of sneaky racism. So it's hard to really I
got
just
you.
lump them
I
all
think
together.
it just sounds like you don't fuck with either one of them. I got you, brother.
Exactly. Yes, because just because of the sneakiness. Like if there are three races, one of them and two of them are sneaky in different ways, and one of them straight up, I can have a conversation with a person that's a straight up racist, or at least I know where they stand. The liberals just gonna waste my time.
Got you.
And gaslight.
A Black,
manipulate.
talk to us.
Exactly.
Do you think that the far left and the far right are equally as bad?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, all it is really is old money, conservative, new money, liberal, and the new money, they will kind of round in other quote marginalized groups to rally their cause, but their main thing is they both have different status quos to maintain. The right wants to keep their established practices in order. They'll do a little bit for minorities if it helps them, but they ain't gonna go too far for y'all niggas or y'all messing with nobody like that. Whereas the liberals are gonna like make all type of concessions because they're trying to stay in this thing. So that's really who's at war is old versus old money versus new money. That's who the conservatives are and the liberals are. And the liberals just use the gays. Well, the gays are really a part of it now. The blacks, they need all these other little factions to strengthen their ranks against this old regime, which is the conservative party. That's really what it comes down to. And then we kind of in the middle, but they both are extreme. One thing now, as I'm older, being a lifelong Democrat and liberal, like most black people are, when you get older, it's like you see they both don't really care about you, but at least with Republicans, they don't care so much that you can really see it coming. So you can prepare for things, you won't be blindsided, whereas liberals will really make you feel like they're on your side, they're going to do something for you, they use all this coded language, all this stuff that makes you feel like they're an ally. As soon as shit hits the fan, they're the ones that really pull the rug from underneath you. So it's like with Republicans, they're racist. With liberals, the Democrats, they're racist. But Trump is a goofball. You can see it coming a mile away. Kamala, Democrat, Barack, they make the masses comfortable. They lull them to sleep. They like, we're all good. We got Democrats in power. We don't have to pay attention to shit. And then they pass all type of crazy policies.
Right.
Scrambling around like, why is inflation like this? Why is this like? Because y'all get comfortable when they're in office, and then when somebody like Trump is in office, everybody's senses are aware again. Everybody's talking politics every day. They're researching shit. So it's like they're both bad, but at least the Republicans make niggas pay attention because that fear is different. And now the liberals have seen that, we can use this same fear to base our campaign off. This whole fear of like, Trump is gonna ruin democracy. Trump's gonna like all they offering is fear and marketing plans, but no real things. And it's crazy to have somebody, a candidate that's in office right now and still can't really show you nothing that they produce that's tangible. That every black man, every black person can say undeniable, we got this when this person was in office. Like they just got, we did this for student loans, we did like who was all affected by something, by this person coming in office. And if it's nothing, when we got a black president, we got a black woman president, we got a black mayor, governor, the shit don't matter. Like fucking like vote for who you like, the shit is WWF, but at the end of the day, it don't matter,
Oh,
Got you. G, talk to us. You muted.
Yeah, I think I agree with a lot of what A Black said there. And it's like in terms of like far left and far right, I do think they're like very close to the same thing. I made a comment earlier about like two sides of the same coin. I think it applies. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think I got too much more to add to that because like you said, it's like it's a soap opera at this point. It's straight it's just, I don't even want to say it's entertainment, but it's like storytelling, it's content, it's all in that realm. It's like doing what we can for clicks, for algorithms, and I'm really curious just to see too, like, because I think 80% of black men voted for Hillary in that election. I'm really curious to see what that percentage ends up breaking down to for this election, because the way that people are talking is like, you know, it's going to be like 50-50, and I just don't think that's going to be the case. I know I'm kind of deviating, but yeah.
Are you talking about the percentage of black men?
Yeah. 80% of black men voted for Hillary.
Yeah. It typically ranges between, it seems like it's between 80 and 89, or pretty much 90%.
Yeah. So I the way that they're talking is as if like this is about to be 60% of black men voted for are going to vote for Kamala, and Trey can applaud that, but I just don't even think that's going to be the case. I don't think it's that many black men voting for Trump, in my opinion. I don't think it's going to be like that.
You don't have to vote for Trump to just not vote for Kamala, because I don't even know. I'm not encouraging any black man to vote for Trump. I'm just saying, do not vote against blue, no matter who. Just because they need to. I'm so aggravated with how they talk to us and take advantage. I mean, like on the news pundits, where they just take us for granted. They wrote Willing Obama out. That's not the first time. Constantly calling us pookies, and you know, you gotta get Pookie to vote now. Like, bro, I'm so
they be using Pookie.
Hey,
yeah.
Hey, Quinn,
I heard that one. That's a new one.
Hey, Quinn, I sent something in the group chat. I think it'd be good to play it right now. It's from a movie, and it kind of speaks to this because, like, I think where black people get it wrong is like we act like we have to choose one or the other. I think as a black collective, like they're tools. Political parties are tools, and like as black people, we always say that we're not a monolith. So that means some of us gonna be progressive, some of us gonna be conservative. And we can't, like, I think the way we limit ourselves, it holds us back. But this is Trick, baby.
I thought you was gonna play this.
It's you liberals who have lifted them up, Howard.
Oh yeah.
Paul, you conservatives make a mistake. You can't afford to strangle hope in people. Without hope, people become dangerous.
No, Howard, you liberals have let them invade our society. You give them jobs, political jobs.
Paul, you missed the point. It's only the smart ones we move up.
That makes it even worse.
Oh, we have to move them up. If we leave a smart one in the ghetto, he might develop into a leader against us. But if we raise him up into white society, we neutralize him. He feels compelled to try to act like us. He loses his identity and his racial anger, if he has any. He becomes alien to his brothers. They realize he sold them out, and they grow to hate him. He becomes worthless to them and safe for us. No, thank you. In fact, in his love for the creature comforts, except for his color, he's become one of us.
I think that like perfectly kind of explains it. Like we look at it like it's a versus, but in all actuality, they're like working.
It's all working together.
They're all working together, and so we have to do that as a collective, as black people. Whether it takes us, some of us moving conservative, some of us staying liberal, if it best suits us. But like we have to be balanced as a community.
I mean, FBA and Tether coming together.
I ain't say that,
bro.
I ain't say that.
No,
I don't think you ain't supposed to say. I think you just say like Pan-African or
the diaspora, collective diaspora.
Diaspora.
Yeah. My bad.
If I'm clear on Trey's actual definition, I think that's like
I misused the term. My bad.
Negative terminology.
But we don't have to team up
should
with
we bring all the coons in or something like that? I imagine from how I've heard Trey define it, that's how.
Yeah. My bad. We're not dependent on immigrants for our empowerment, bro. We don't need to team up with people that can't even team up at home. Like but
to be fair, if they are legal immigrants who have a right to vote, they then become somewhat allies here locally. No, like it's not really the same when they actually.
What makes them an ally? Their skin
because
color
they have a vote. They can cast their vote.
But that doesn't make them an ally. Every person that has a vote isn't an ally.
What I'm saying is that they have the potential to be allies because they have the power to vote versus the illegal migrants. You say we shouldn't team with immigrants, period. Okay, I hear you. But what about legal immigrants who have been here and pay taxes and are, productive members of the community who have a legal vote, and let's say they're black too, and they're having first generation black kids in America. Should we not look to them as allies to the black movement?
Really quickly, Brother Marcus sent in confusion on the battlefield. Quick housekeeping would say that on the To Be Fair show channel and the G-ish podcast, super chat, super thanks, are all available. Every panelist has either a Cash App on their profile or inside the info, the description. Make sure y'all show love to the panel. Trey, you was about to go.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, man, we need to get this out of our head that there's some type of ally that out there for Black. We've never had any ally. Everything we got on ourselves. We've done more for everyone else than they've done for us. But we constantly just never give up hope. I think that's why Kamala has a plan for Black men, is because of a delineation movement. Part of what's delegitimized her and what Obama woke us up to is people that have a different culture than us. We can't expect them to have our best interests because they don't, they cook collard greens in the bathtub. So, if I'm going to go to Jamaica, then I'm not going to instantly an ally with Jamaicans if I'm a foreigner. Bro, it's going to have to come with us as a family, and anybody that's not within our community, they're going to have to be heavily vetted because we have a long history of people acting as Trojan horses, like the Obama situation where he rides in on the Black American vote, but he prioritized LGBTQ and DACA and things like that. So no, the last thing we need to be trying to do is force an ally with people who are getting fat off of our exploitation and then could care less about that. And if I can say one quick thing. So the far left liberals, they tried to assassinate Trump 3 times. The far right, they ran into the State House. So not State House, the Capitol. So I don't know, man. We don't see the far right trying to assassinate anybody. So
they were saying they was trying to hang Pence. But if you just using that example.
But they took shots.
Yeah, they literally, as they was breaking down the thing. I just seen the video today. They was yelling, "Hang Pink, hang Pink." And they said something about killing Pelosi too. It wasn't it was a lack of an intent. They was banging on the door and Shorty got killed because they was trying to break down the little Congress thing to stop the vote.
And the far right will be having cop badges on and killing us in other ways. So it's I don't know. The far right will assassinate niggas too.
But nonetheless, G, I think you threw Trey like that. I was one of those. I don't know if y'all are basketball fans here. There's that infamous alley-oop when Chris Paul he was with the Clippers and he went between the legs and he threw it up and then Blake caught it and windmilled it. You did that for him for Pan-Africans just then.
I thought you were gonna say Dwayne Wade and LeBron.
Oh, that was another good one. That could have been a no look. That could have been the no look. That's a fact. That's what you threw to him. That was a slam dunk question for Trey, obviously. That's one loaded in the chamber. But nonetheless, I think that it'll be kind of good time to push the conversation forward. I have a couple clips, and then we can get into the conversation as we start talking about the left, liberals, progressives, and some of the problems with it. Maybe some of the solutions with them. We'll see.
I call them limousine liberals. They drive their big cars. They live in their big houses. They don't care what happens in the most impoverished communities. They care less. So they vote liberal because in their mindsets, they know nothing's going to happen to them anyway. They're fine. They'll sit back. Their kids go to private school. They're all set. Nothing wrong with private school. But what's the point? They know that the impoverished are hurt more by politics. They understand that. They don't worry about the cost of milk, and they don't care. So they're sitting back. It's the Nancy Pelosi's of the world. It's the Bernie Sanders of the world.
They live in the gated community.
Go to they live in a gated community. And for them, you know, what did Bernie say? Bernie said, tax all the millionaires. Then he became a millionaire. Now what does he say? Tax all the billionaires. It's like, come on, man. You know.
Oh my God, how many times are you people going to ask me this? All right, what's the difference between liberals and leftists? No talk of similarities. Liberalism is the default ideology of today's industrialized democracies. Individual rights and liberties, equality under the law, representative democracy, property rights, and capitalism. Because liberalism is the default setting, liberals are broadly centrists. Some lean right, some lean left. And notice how progressives fit under the definition of liberalism. Just with a robust welfare state and more regulations to check and balance corporate power. Ideologically, you enter leftism when capitalism is too hierarchical and too undemocratic for you. And if you think landlording just shouldn't be a thing anymore, think worker cooperatives, where you elect your boss and decisions within the company, such as wages and what to do with excess profit, are made democratically because everyone has ownership in the business. You know, socialism. Note, not all anti-capitalism is leftism. Feudalism is anti-capitalist and is super right-wing. Same with the Soviet-style planned economy, which is also top-down. And there's a major foreign policy difference. Liberals are more accepting of their country's imperialism. Leftists aren't. Though I do wish more self-described leftists would be wholly anti-imperialism. Not just anti-American imperialism, but anti-imperialism by America's rivals as well. You know what's funny and frustrating is that liberals often recognize the radical left positions of the past to be correct.
Oh, my bad. I shot the gun too early. But let me see. Let me see if I can get it back
Equality,
there.
gay rights, New Deal. But when it comes to today's so-called radical positions,
all right, and this is the last one.
Folks, if you ever can't figure out whether you're Democrat or Republican or liberal, because I used to think, what am I?
Listen close.
Here's a good way of looking at it.
I like
Do
this
you
one.
want more government involvement or less government involvement? So answer the question.
Less.
Right. That would make you conservative. That
Bingo.
would make you more right than left. So in that regard, I'm right. Why? Well, because I don't want any government involvement. The government shouldn't be involved much at all.
They never fact check.
Gotcha. All right. So nonetheless, this leads us to, you know, again, a bit of the conversation in which, again, identifying parts of the left wing is probably beneficial in us having the conversation, and how there is a difference between, quote unquote, the leftists / progressives and the liberals. I think, like, if we was to like do it for dummies, in essence, liberals are usually kind of like pushing for reform, and this is where you get, like, quote unquote, the establishment Democrats, and then the leftists or the progressives are trying to throw away. They're trying to abolish. This is where you get like the abolish the police, or, you know, abolish the prison system, XYZ. Saying all that to say, this also extends to the other side of the aisle. Love to ask y'all this initial question: What do you identify as, and what has led to your identification? Whether that's your parents, social groups, financial settings, XYZ. I'll toss it in the air. Whoever wants to take it first.
I'll go. I recently, over the last probably 6 years or so, slowly started identifying myself as an independent. In 2020, when like I watched the DNC, I watched the RNC. If you closed your eyes, it was the same shit. Like, if you just close your eyes and listen to the speeches, it's going to be over. They're evil. If they get in office, the world is over. And they was just finger pointing. And the DNC was first. The RNC came in. I listened. It was the same exact thing. Once I saw that, I was like, I have to think for myself, because these are clearly two wings of a bird that's flying me straight into, you know, an airplane. Like we gonna get fucked up trying to listen to these motherfuckers. So I am independent because I don't trust none of them.
Gotcha.
I think for me, I probably agree with Johnny in terms of being identifying as moderate or independent, but like I kind of break it down to say, when it comes to like government and like fiscal policy, I tend to be more conservative. But when it comes to social life, I tend to be liberal. Like I think socially people should do what they want to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's your life. Live it how you want to live it. It don't hurt me. I don't think the government should be telling people how to live their own lives. But when it comes to like money, how it's spent, government, things of that nature, I do tend to lean more towards conservative policies where because I just find government to be super inefficient, wasteful.
But so I guess with you saying that, does that mean that you're more in favor of big government or little government? Are you more in favor of regulations, or just like these big businesses can kind of do whatever they want because of that can kind of go on either side of the aisle? Well, there's different sides to the aisle for both of those things, where whether you're for quote unquote regulating big business, regulating the economy to where it's like not one size fits all, or the the free market doesn't eat the little man, or if you believe inside like the inverse of that.
See, I'm conservative in that regard. I'm not liberal in that regard. I don't think being a billionaire is unethical. Like I don't have that mindset where it's like that's a very progressive mindset. Like it should be a shame to be that rich, right?
But do you not?
But the regulation part ends up being the liberal part. Are you for like there being some version of regulation on what whether that's higher minimum wage, whether that's like, again, non-monopoly, non-compete, that would then lend closer to it. Matter of fact, I'll give y'all. I'll throw these down. These are a couple things that I do have written down that align with liberal. A couple things that align with progressive. We haven't made it to conservative yet, so I can't hop on that side. But I know conservative is little government, where they prefer less regulations all the way up to no regulations, and kind of get how you live.
It's a spectrum. It's a spectrum, but yeah, less regulation than more. Yeah.
So in modern liberalism, because I mean actual real liberalism, classic liberalism is more libertarian, where it's purely like what you said inside how you prefer individually, where every person is autonomous to its own self. But modern liberalism, government intervention within economic and social exploitation, again, regulation of big businesses, not really for defense program, or they're for, but they're rather cut the defense program. Equality is big. That may be like one of the bigger things when it comes down to liberal agenda. They are pro-union. They are pro-affirmative action, DEI. They are for capitalism, but more so social democracy, where there is capitalism with the basement of some social programming, the net of social programming. There we go. Where progressive is more or less like, again, intersectionality. It's communism. It is socialism. It's more of like a heavy, bigger government. There is limits to speech. Again, liberals is supposed to be free speech. Progressive is kind of like non-platforming cancel culture. We ain't got to get into the LGBT shit and all that. Obviously, America is innately bad. All systems need to be overthrown. But just wanted to throw that out just so that in you explaining, there's at least some identification to liberalism.
Yeah, like for example, conservatives will quote unquote want less regulation, but then try to regulate stuff like abortion, gay marriage, drug use, things like that, policing. So it's like, so this is where I say it's like, when it comes to those types of things, I tend to lean more liberal, because I don't think that's the government's job to be telling people how to live their lives, especially when you can make decisions that aren't like harming other people, right? And so, but from a liberal standpoint, I'm not pro regulating business. I'm not pro. When I say regulating business, I mean like big business, so to speak. There needs to be guardrails in place, like any entity sovereign. Like there needs to be some guardrails, something in place. But nah, not the liberal way. Like not the democratic way. Like I'm open it up.
I will say this. I do agree with one part of the like liberal. I'm independent, but we come on here and talked about the deep state and corporatocracy, and we've talked about how these billionaires leverage their power against us. So the one thing where I am maybe far left is I do believe in unions. I believe I do believe that like workers should be able to come together and demand certain things for what they're giving, and I believe that is something that checks and balances. That's a word I've said a lot tonight. Balance. I think if you do have small government and there's not a lot of regulation of what you can do, you shouldn't regularize the workers either. If the workers want to come together and organize and demand certain things for their services, they should be able to do that
I
as
agree
well.
with that.
So that's one like liberal point that I'm always against. Also, like freedom of choice with your body, whatever you want to do, whoever you want to live. I don't want to tell nobody how to live. So those are two things where I will always lean left. But there's a lot of things when it comes to small government and deregulation that I also do agree with too. But I do agree with unions and freedom of choice.
Got you. And I don't know if either one of y'all had answered this before we throw to A Black and Trey. What has landed you at where you're at?
Well, the unions just learning about like
just your general well, no, actually, Johnny, you did kind of explain why you're independent. I don't know if G explained why he was what you said you're more government wise you're conservative. Individual liberties you're more so libertarian liberal.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I tend to not go like I'm pretty moderate in that regard because I tend to like support things that fall under both conservative and liberal. Mm. But I happen to fall into this. Just growing up, you grow up being taught to be Democrat, so to speak, because that's what everybody else is. That's what I seen everybody else do. And then just that whole, like I was in college when Obama got elected in 2008. It was like it was lit. It was crazy.
Niggas took down the football goals at Central.
It was
crazy.
It was crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy. And like just the whole thing from Obama to the second term to then going to the Hillary Trump stuff was just like, you know what? I'm and Q meeting me at them younger ages, I was already kind of had the tinfoil hat on. So I was going down these paths at that time. And it's just like I just clearly saw that I felt like both things were telling me lies. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I kind of just ended up falling in the middle because I didn't feel like either place really felt like home.
Got it. A Black, talk to us. What do you identify as and what has led you there?
Yeah, I think like similar to everybody else said, I grew up thinking I was liberal and Democrat, but as I got older, I think I realized I'm probably more conservative than I thought I was. But also, like I'm liberal. I'm liberal about certain things too, kind of how G said, like more so on the social aspect. But I do believe I'm probably more conservative because I think like the country or society thrives better with more structure. At least this society here, I don't think they are ready for just like outright liberal, free for all, do your thing, like, because long term, I don't think that works for a country. I feel like a more conservative approach to things and lifestyles and just having more structure creates more stable human beings, So I think I lean more conservative, but I probably am moderate just because I got some liberal views, but the older I get, the more conservative I get. The more I care more about money and what's going to happen with certain things if this person is in office versus just like popularity and oh they're black or oh they're cool or oh they playing the saxophone or whatever cool shit somebody doing. You know, it's like I'm looking more so like what can I get from this? You know, I don't want to like you. I want to be your friend or have dinner. Like, can I use you? Like you're about to use your constituents or the people that elect you. We should be looking at them like, how can I use this person? What can I get from them? And it's not enough of that. It's just like all kind of emotional and oh God, you know, they're gonna do this. He said he gonna do this. And that's another thing that's funny, like they believe all the bad shit Trump said he gonna do, but none of the good stuff he said he gonna do. So it's like people have got selective belief based on who they already decided on or whatever. But for me, it's like I feel I could be a Republican if I believe that meant anything too. But like I say, I think you become what you're born into, and then as you get older, you develop your own views. And like, oh damn, maybe I am more conservative. Maybe I don't want men cutting their dicks off and I got caught up a girl or whatever. And I don't want to like bash about it. And I feel like the liberal people are just as hateful now as the so-called MAGA and the right. Like I be getting attacked in comment sections just for an opinion, the shit that they say, just because it's all Kamala Harris or all Democrat. People say the craziest shit too. And I'm like, how does that make you any better than these people? You know, you're it's all about character, and you're saying this man is not a man of character, but y'all are attacking people out here like that justifies it or make y'all any better. So the whole shit is fucked up. Like they're just as mean and hateful as the white rednecks out here storming the Capitol and shit. So it's really everybody got the same energy. It's just like how they put it out.
Radicalizing identity politics, pretty much.
It's all hate at the end of the day.
Gotcha. David Walker, Trey, talk to us. You muted.
Oh, I'm definitely an independent, and man, I'm so like proud of this generation. I don't think there's ever been a group of black men and more black women who have been this politically independent. Like our parents, all they knew was Democratic Party, and then before that, that's all they knew. And then now we're exercising our options and leveraging both sides against each other to get them to offer something for us. So that was a good little reward we got from Kamala. It was a horrible try, but it was a try nonetheless. So again, I'm dependent. Independent. Always been independent, but I'm more like my focus, like tunnel vision focus, is advocacy for foundational Black American descendants of freedmen. You know, like advocacy specifically for us, and we don't have that from the Democrat Party. They just have a sneaky version of undermining us, and I think that honestly they're pushing me more conservative. Like this isn't our parents Democrat Party. Like the stuff that they're pushing now is like, I remember being in high school when Obama was talking about, when he was on the campaign, he was against gay marriage, and then now look where we are now, where they're trying to talk about like trans kids, like, which is a long way for like 12 16 years. So even when that was happening, I was like, are y'all really like, yes, we should stay, I want them to stay out of our bedroom, but I don't want them to push it on. So it's like you make a deal with the devil whenever you get progress through liberals. Because
but I guess to be fair though, and this is where I tried to like start at the horseshoe theory. Where would you say you've heard a actual politician, i.e. like Kamala, Walz, any of them, talk about trans kids? Or is that more so rhetoric from the far left?
They have TV shows on TLC. Like the liberals have created a climate that allows for us to have, like, at the Juneteenth parade, they had a drag queen story time. Like, so if she, whether she says it or not, that's the climate.
Okay, so you're not talking about like specifically like policies and politicians and them saying it. You're just saying like the general sphere of media and what you deem as like anything that's left leaning or liberal leaning.
Right. This goes back before where I was saying the older generation is the most liberal group. And you said we're the ones doing it. Well, the older generation created the climate for all of this to happen. And they're turning a blind eye as if it's not happening. So whether or not they voted in there specifically, like even how we didn't get the All-Star weekend for a couple years because we didn't want to have, I think, was it Roy Cooper?
HB2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't want to have bathrooms that were specific to gender. So the liberals do like kind of push policies like that. And even where they were trying to say that they would have bathrooms like that and they would have, menstrual stuff in those bathrooms in like elementary schools. And then like even some of the books that they're reading them to the kids like that are available to them, it's gotten too far when you involve the kids. Like adults, we should stay have an adult's bedroom, but that's the deal you make when you rock with the liberals. And also like the Second Amendment.
I guess there's a couple things, if I was to just be fair, that does end up kind of getting close to rhetoric. Like the books inside the elementary school thing. Like on the To Be Fair, so we did like a complete like research of that. And like yes, when you get into high school and whatever, like there's nothing in elementary schools. There's nothing.
Okay.
Like
you never heard of a book called The Gay BCs?
I'm sure a book exists called The Gay BCs.
Like
I also imagine they're not in the elementary school.
That's a real book.
But is it inside any elementary school?
Right. Is it inside the library for them to check out?
Right. Like those are like completely different concepts. And that's why, because at first we were talking about policies and politicians, and you took it to like just like the general social sphere things, in which I guess like I think right now at the moment we're trying to direct to politicians, policies, and things that they're trying to pass or want to pass.
That whole thing, like, to be fair, bro. Like, when do we start saying to be fair, bro? Like, why we need to be fair?
Oh, we can't even be like
honest
on like seeing both sides.
I don't understand that. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Like, let's be blindly biased to our echo chamber.
Nah, but we don't have to be devil's advocate for everything, bro. Like,
no, it's not being devil's advocate. It's calling out like what's wrong if somebody says it.
It's actually unpacking the issues and getting.
Yeah. It's like having like you remember when you said a good faith conversation. If I agree with you, I nod my head and say yes. If I disagree with a actual fact, I'm gonna just say that fact also. And that's where it's like we're just having a genuine conversation. That's where if I say something wrong, I hope you'll be like, hey, to be fair, that's actually incorrect. And this is what's actually real. That's how the conversation should be. You just like you would rather like just throw your boys out there with incorrect facts, just saying shit.
Just to stand on business like Deion Sanders.
Bro, if I'm saying the liberals are creating this climate that's opened the door for like drag queen stories at times and stuff like that that's out there, there's no to be fair behind that, bro. It is what it is. This climate is here and it is present and it's observable. And it is a slippery slope when you start doing this to be fair thing where you justify.
But who's the most famous trans person that you can name?
Saucy Santana.
Not that.
No, that's not the most famous trans person. The most famous trans person,
Bruce Jenner.
Exactly. And what party is that person? Well, is she now affiliated with?
They
got you. They got you, G.
The first time, G.
Well, what party?
Like, that's what I'm saying, bro.
No, go ahead and drag. Go ahead.
Trey, what party are they affiliated with?
This not the party that asked the same party that asked Ketanji Brown if she could define a woman, and she said no. That's the party she's affiliated with, or he's affiliated with, or whatever.
The Republicans, is that what that meant?
The Republican Party, the one that you're voting for in November.
They're affiliated with the party that was asking Ketanji Brown.
Hey, but Trey, hold on, man. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I tell me explicitly you not voting for Mark Robinson so we can continue.
Bro, I have to see who he's running against, bro. I'm not familiar. I'm not educated.
That's all cold as hell. Though. Just to be honest, he said white people, black people owe white people reparations.
You can't vote for him.
Trey,
He said those words. He said,
why can't you
if
denounce this
anything,
man?
black people
Why
owe
can't you
white
denounce this
people
man, bro?
reparations.
Like, why? I don't understand this. Like, stick the fork in Mark Robinson. Stick the fork in him, bro.
TBI, do you hear this? TBI, I see you in the chat. That man said that we owe white people reparations, and Trey is saying he might vote for him. Let your brother know that that's off code.
Carry this level of smoke, but then be like, I got to see who Mark Robinson running against, bro. That don't make no sense. That's
right now, I'm not gonna. I'll tell you this: I'm not voting for anybody to familiarize myself with the situation. Right now, I'm not familiar with it. So as I stands now, no, I'm not voting with it.
He was on Pornhub leaving comments. You got to go.
Look at Trey being fair.
I mean, it's not fair. That's just logic, bro. Like, I'm not gonna. Why would I speak on something I don't know anything?
He like, nigga, you call it fair, nigga?
Yeah, I'm not trying to be fair. I'm just like, why? Just because I'm not gonna speak.
Now
on
I feel you.
when
you look at both sides, that's logic. I feel you.
No, I'm not gonna speak on something I don't know anything about. Like,
so you haven't heard about Mark Robinson for real? I
don't know about his election, the campaign, the office. I don't know anything about that.
I just want to know, did you see him tell them white people that if anything, black people owe y'all reparations?
I saw
you ain't
the
see
campaign
that?
I saw the campaign ads.
No, but you heard him say that out of his mouth though, right? That black people didn't need reparations, and if anything, they owe white people reparations.
That's
bro. I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I think that's a deplorable thing to say. That's very coonish and very tattoo. And he's a domestic.
But you could still vote for that person
if I don't know who he's running against. What if he's running against somebody that says something even worse? Who's like, we should have an abortion clinic in every.
What if it was Nick
community.
Fuentes? I guess I don't know. Like you was caking for him.
Like, what if his opponent's like, we should make sure we push rainbow on little black kids, and we need to put an abortion clinic on every corner. And then I'll take Mark Robinson over that.
But we know that wouldn't be like that doesn't exist. So what you're saying is that it has to be an extreme.
I told you, I don't
so
know.
if it's a moderate Democrat, you're voting them then, right?
If it's a moderate Democrat, yeah, I'll vote for them.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm just saying I'm not familiar enough with the situation to speak on it. That's all.
And he leave comments, Kofi.
Yeah. He and you can't trust him. He was against T-porn, even though he was against T people while on them sites.
Enjoying himself.
Who commented on Pornhub, bro?
Do you know what he said?
On Pornhub, bro?
Man, we see the ice broke the Mark Robinson scandal. Like, do you know what he said on the nails?
We might have to do a whole breakdown on Mark Robinson when we do the conservatives next week. Y'all got to stay tuned. We gonna talk about conservatives next week, just in case y'all listening. It just ain't just about liberals. Part 1 this week, and then next week we gonna talk about what's up with conservatives. But today we focus it on liberals.
In there and get out of there. You ain't supposed to be leaving comments, bro. They trace personal.
Nah, I feel that, but hey, for all I know,
is first last name at hotmail.com. Talk about it's not me. Like, what are we talking about?
I mean, for all I know, y'all might just be repeating what you heard Joy Reid said.
Okay.
I didn't go watch, so you might be right.
It's a full article.
I don't even know Joy Reid.
Yeah, no, it's a full article, and they did they Googles and they fact checks and they email references and birth date references and marriage references that's on all of his profiles, and it was the profile that he used
on his
Twitter. Even his Twitter before he updated to the mayoral. There's no way that he's trying to run away from it. But also, all of his, you said what?
What's the rest of his policy though? Like, is he against? Is he for
I don't know.
borders?
He off code. I was taking y'all approach.
Oh, he's definitely for closed borders. Oh yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Who gives a fuck about closed borders when a nigga's talking to like one of your own people is talking like this? Like what does closed?
He's against like your whole movement.
He against
like,
you.
What you stand for?
Bro, so is our liberals, bro, but they're just sneakier with it. That's my whole point. The liberals have the same views as Mark Robinson. They're just sneaky about it. So I don't just because like you heard them say what he said.
Never mind.
But you would vote for Mark Robinson's views versus the other people's views.
Depending on what the other people's views were.
You said they're the same.
I know what he had a view on.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's funny, John. That's hilarious. I get that, but just just being on some on the seriousness, it's just I got to know more about the situation before I speak on it. Because I will vote for a T person if they're going to close the border.
What if there was anti-reparation though?
Everybody's anti-reparations.
Oh, okay.
So you got to vote anti-reparations.
Or if I'm going to vote and they're both anti-reparations, one's anti-reparations, but they'll close the border, then give me the anti-reparations person that'll close the border.
So reparations is officially off the ballot for you then, because I know at first you were saying that was a swingable.
That was
thing.
I thought that was a line in the sand.
Yeah, with Deion.
He did say that at a point, and then he came back and said that I said I was lying, and then, but it seems like it's now it's off the table.
Well, 2 months ago you were saying it's on asking if it was on the table, and I said I don't know. Maybe with your attitude, it's off the table if you're just giving up.
You know, he said that before 2 months ago. This was already out there.
Yo, man, if anybody watching, if we got to put a compilation of some Trey clips together here, because you are a funny ass nigga, bro. I'm telling you, you have a way of not saying things while saying things. Like you'll be saying stuff, but you don't be wanting to like say stuff. Like we got to put the compilation together.
Yeah, I try, bro. I don't want to. I have a filter. I have a filter, bro. If I could have a podcast where I can just have like an avatar and then have like an AI voice, bro, I would go crazy.
Oh, I would love to see that version of you know that would be what we call the
platform. You get deplatformed. No, for sure.
I cake up first.
No,
as far as I just have to see more of his other policies, because I would say that reparations, it looks like no candidate at this point in the game. Maybe it isn't an issue. I think it should be an issue for some Black people. They need to stand hard line. If it's not going to reparations, then no vote. But there also need to be some Black people. Like we have a border crisis right now. So I think dealing with that is a respectable.
No, I understand it. All I'm saying is that it had seemed as though that you was those Black people that you're talking about when it came down to reparations.
I had some hope, and I think that hope is what we needed. That hope for Kamala to even speak on Black men, and we needed that for what happened in California and all these reparations found. We still need to hold the line as far as that goes. But with the election, like less than a month away, then at this point, like reparations no candidate is running on reparations. So we have to see what they're running on and just weigh that in. And the biggest thing at this point now is, why isn't reparations on the table? I would say I'd have to blame the Democrats for that, because we have kept the Democrats alive for like 60 years. Like we could end them, like we could kill them at any point, bro. I don't want to mess up the albums, but we quit voting for them. Democrats are gone. So I think the next thing, if we can't get reparations as a part of the reparations agenda to continue that, we can
vote for the ones that say no reparations, and that
you're
foolish if you get that.
Yeah, because of the other parties
that
not
would incentivize those guys to give it to you.
Yeah, because because basically, what are we voting for you for? If you're going to be just like these other guys, we might as well vote for the other guys. And if you want,
I get you, but the other guys would be earning your vote while like outwardly stating no reparations.
But hear me out, bro. If one person is going to not give us anything, but they're going to give it to everybody else, then how about nobody get nothing? And then if we can't be equally comfortable, we can be equally uncomfortable. And I'm fine with that too.
Okay. All right. So with that said, we're going to move into Malcolm X, his commentary about white liberals. And then again, we can be a little bit not so fair when it comes down to actual real critique. I'm not saying that, well, Trey had real critique as well, towards the left. But nonetheless, here we go.
There are many whites who are trying to solve the problem, but you never see them going under the label of liberals. That white person that you see calling himself a liberal is the most dangerous thing in the entire Western Hemisphere. He's the most deceitful. He's like a fox, and a fox is always more dangerous in the forest than the wolf. You can see the wolf coming. You know what he's up to, but the fox will fool you. He comes at you with his mouth shaped in such a way that even though you see his teeth, you think he's smiling. You take him for.
Okay, so nonetheless, this was quoted maybe by Trey earlier, but from the limousine liberals to the again the far left progressives, I think that there is plentiful that we could critique. There's the question of, do they actually care about the actual issues? Are these things that are almost just like on the side of quote unquote their own moral good compass that they're looking for? All the way down to, this is just another way inside the framing of the clip that Johnny played for them to be complicit within the system while keeping us pacified. Nonetheless, fellas, liberals, what's the problem?
What's our problem, bro? How we gonna keep following? We've been following for the same thing since Malcolm X, bro. It's crazy.
In fact,
literally the same playbook. It's like
why are we still talking about this?
So all right, so I don't know where y'all want to take the conversation. Do you even want to shift it to just like it's niggas, and then it's just like so it's black people fault, and like I'm gonna keep the question in the air first. The critiquing liberals, and then I'll go there, and then yeah, go ahead.
Man, it's hard to critique the liberals because they're smart, bro. Like if they could just coddle us to sleep and then keep up white supremacy, then that's a good strategy, bro.
But bro, the Republicans are going to keep up white supremacy. Like, I just can't get with that talking point.
Bad cop. That's the distraction. They think they the racists, but they all the racists.
Yeah,
but then like, you don't see how like that being racist of one party but accepting of racism in another. That don't make
sense.
If
they're working together. If that's what you're saying.
Because it's a racist system, and in order to fly, you have to have a left wing and a right wing.
Right. But why do you like one wing versus the other?
I'm independent, but I'm saying we've only had a left wing. We haven't leaned into our right wing, and so that's why we get this push from left to right. It's not because we like one more than the other. It's we just have to reach out.
Does one have more to offer than the other? Because like you'll be implying that if you're saying they're working together,
neither one of them are offering us much of anything. What have the Democrats the Democrats?
Right.
We've been voting for them for 6. Where have we gotten?
If you're saying good cop, bad cop, then that's what I'm saying.
They both trying to arrest you.
But ain't you pro Trump?
They both trying to put you. They both trying to put them handcuffs on you. Good, whether good or bad. Like they both like, and so
I know I get that, but then wouldn't you just demonize the system altogether and not just one?
And not pick a side.
I do demonize the system, but if we're only on the left side and the ship is sinking on the left, you have to try to move some of the stuff over to the right to balance this shit. It's not like
I know. All right, so I get it. I guess if I'm trying to like bring it back to the question, because I asked about like critiquing liberals, and the answer was it's us, it's black people. In which, because then it pushes me into like the ideology of like defending some liberal policies to actually make an argument, where then we get into like we I guess I'd rather like stay in the spot right now where we're critiquing things that they have pushed down. An example of this would be you could critique affirmative action and how it has benefited more white women than minorities. Not minorities than black people. You could critique that. Like there's a bunch of different things in which we can actually critique them, and not specifically us being tricked, quote unquote.
A lot of the social systems about like the Section 8 and public housing authorities, a lot of that stuff, and a lot of that stuff we voted for, but we see how that has impacted us over the years. We see the degradation of the nuclear family. I mean, that's an easy one. Hell, we all voted for Joe Biden and them boys to go up there for the super predator and the crime bill in 1994. That directly you know, effects. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of instances where we can look back. Hindsight is 2020. We can look back and see like how they have tricked us. Like, I mean, it's a lot of different. I mean, I just gave those two. I know Trey probably got some more, but it's like, how many times are we going to be fooled? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, ain't gonna fool. Like, we have to, it does come to us at some point if we're only going to vote for a system or a party that doesn't give us results. We have to look in the mirror.
But just to be clear, Johnny, are you pro voting Republican?
No, I'm pro voting Green Party. I'm pro voting any and everything that keeps us balanced as a people, because I think we are a balanced people. There's probably some of us that are super conservatives. There's some of us that are super liberal. Most of us are probably in that 80% of the bell curve, and we can it's about balance. You don't have to have an allegiance or a hate for either one of them, but it's like what actually works for you and like your family.
Okay, so
And
that's a little bit different than Trey's position, because he's like, no, we gotta vote for Trump.
I don't agree with that. I mean, some of us still have to vote for Kamala, but I mean, it's about balance at the end of the day. I'm not like totally. I mean, I have like gay black women friends. They're not gonna vote for Trump. They're gonna only vote for Kamala. Like, and they ain't gonna tell them to vote for Trump. Like, it makes sense for them to vote for Kamala. It makes sense for some of us to vote for Trump based on what our beliefs and our values are. And until we start voting like individually, like in our values, what works best for us, I don't think we'll have that balance, because we're all gonna always lean to this is best for us, and they hate us. You know, so that's my take on it.
Black people love voting for their sexuality, bro. That's crazy, bro. They're not voting for black people. They just know that what some of that saucy Santana is on the menu, so that's all they need, bro. It's disgusting.
I said his name enough tonight. Like,
that's all I get attacked by.
Right. I mean, the reason I'm bring up the only reason I bring up Saucy Brantana is because remember last year, because there's a lot of pandering going on. You remember when they did the thing, get your booty to the pole? No,
I don't.
Nah, that wasn't in my algorithm, bro.
That was their campaign.
You do be having a weird algorithm. You done sent us some songs I ain't never heard either.
I just be like tapped in, bro.
I ain't get that one across the timeline.
No, I just be like tapped in these Black American like conversations a lot more than a lot. I don't really like not super big on sports. So I'm kind of like obsessed with this Black political movement. And then they were talking about how offended they were by like the no vucking, no vote, no vucking, where they had a bunch of like hood rats over here talking about if you don't vote. Man, it's disgusting. It was fun about Democrats, bro. They had Saucy Santana with Trina, and then the same thing with the Megan Thee Stallion, and the same thing they were doing with the back that Vats up with Juvenile. Like, I don't know, man. That's probably why I have this position with the Democrat Party, because I'm more like, I've seen all these videos. I am hot with them. You know what I'm saying? I'm offended, highly offended. So I don't want the same reason that a lot of people want to vote for Biden because they don't like Trump. That's my reason for voting for Trump. Not necessarily because I'm a big Trump fan, but I am like so sick of the Democrats, bro. I just want to punish them. I want to see them I want to see that party burn down.
But cut your nose to spite your face with it.
It's not spiting my face though. I think the Biden Trump would be better for Black America than Kamala would.
So do you agree that Trump is like at minimum if he's not a supporter of white supremacy, he's a adjacent white supremacist supporter, or to somebody like you think? Do you think Trump
no more than any of us, the rest of them?
Yeah, exactly, bro. But he doesn't. Get out our head. They're both racist.
I love y'all, boy.
So then that means that. So why even criticize the blue side for being racist if it don't matter on the red? That's just my point on it.
Because the blue side, it's like,
we already criticized the red for being racist. Nobody criticizes the blue for being racist.
Exactly, bro. It's like when
everybody knows
makes sense. Racist. Everybody knows Trump racist, but if nobody knows.
But like, I thought it was quick, man. Like when Cortez pulled up in South America and then they burnt the boat behind them. That's how I feel about the Democrat Party, bro. I want to see that burn so black people don't have any choice but to deal with this white supremacy, bro. We like no more going under the shelter of Democrats who are just gonna make it worse for you, bro. I'm trying to take away the pacifier, bro.
And if I guess I'll try and restate what G is asking. So I think that what he's saying is that it sounds like between Trey and Johnny, it sounds like y'all are explaining the concept that y'all believe that in essence there's a governmental coup in which both sides are working under the guise of white supremacy. And if that is true, shouldn't it be just more so pushing independent instead of either side of the coin? Because if they're working together, like, where is the benefit of saying either one of them?
Closing the border, bro. I mean, I keep saying that.
I mean, because
but then that wouldn't be them working together. That's like opposition. Do you see what I'm saying?
I think they could have agents like. I think we should be balanced across all three. I wouldn't just push even independent, like because they could have agents like because they say Jill Steiner might be working with Russia, and like it's like. You got to vote for whatever makes sense for your values. And I don't think we should just push one party for all black people, no matter whether it's independent, conservative, or liberal. We just have to push what makes sense for each of us. And that's why
I guess that wouldn't be consistent with the idea that it's a guys under white supremacists and they're working together, because of in that concept, then voting for all in like there's no party that actually is beneficial for us. Under the two-party system, that's where you will be independent. If you're going with the original ideology,
I mean,
those two aren't like linear, right?
I get that, but I mean, but we talking about politics and lobbyists and deep state. Like, you don't think like a lot of that's even on the third party is even bought out and corrupted. But from what I'm learning, I'm not.
I get what you're saying, but. All I'm like, but then that takes it to like now we're in a 3-lane highway that doesn't necessarily like, you know what I mean, cross section, because of like those things don't, you know, they don't specifically connect if we're speaking through it. But hey, Black, talk to us, brother.
What we on now?
We were critiquing the left. That's what we were doing. It wasn't going well, because we started again critiquing black people. It seemed like, but like specific critiques of the left in general, as it kind of like shakes down.
Yeah, I just feel like a lot of their rhetoric has become too see-through now and a little outdated. And so it feels like the love. Well, I feel like they could possibly lose if they're just insulting the intelligence of a lot of people right now. You know, 'cause they kind of still are doing the same playbook of pandering versus like results. It's like, all right, they're the bad guy, we're the good guy. And it's like, all right, y'all, all right, we know they not shit, but like, what else? Like, what have y'all done? What are y'all doing? Y'all, you know, because y'all kind of just make shit sound good and look good. Like, what are y'all doing too? And their response is always they can't do nothing because it's blocked by Republicans, it's blocked by the House, it's blocked by Congress. The Democrats always get in power and then be powerless. Like they can never do nothing, and then they're always blaming the past administration on why they can't do nothing. So like, what's the point of having Democrats in power? Because their excuse is always like, we can't get it done because of the Republicans. But then Republicans get in and they get everything done. They get the Supreme Court people boom, boom, boom. Why y'all can't make no move? Like, where is their power at? And it shows that like it's other powers that be behind the scenes, and that's why Republicans was in power for so long. Like Democrats being in the office is still limited. It's only in our generation that we have like a lot of Democratic presidents, but Republicans was doing that shit like, I don't know, what, 20 years straight, 24 years straight before who broke it? What, Bill Clinton, I think. So I mean,
hold on, say that last part again.
Republicans was Republican presidents for like almost 20 years straight or something like that.
I think
you said Republicans, or are you talking about
yeah?
Okay,
Republicans.
Okay, got you. But I guess are you talking about like from Reagan through? Wait, no, because Carter.
Reagan through Bush.
But Carter was in there, right?
Jimmy Carter
He was
was
a single
before.
term. Yeah, he had one term.
He was a Democrat.
Jimmy Carter was before Reagan.
Oh, he was. All right, my bad.
He was 76 to 80.
Yeah, you're right. But I guess if I'm giving some pushback on that, that 20-year stretch could possibly be the worst in Black history, right? Like American Black history after slavery.
It was what?
That 80 through the 90s, the
Well,
crack
that was
era,
the
the crack
downfall.
epidemic. That was like the worst time statistically. We talking about murders, we talking about unemployment, we talking about crime. That was kind of like if that happened during the whatchamacallit rule, that kind of is an indictment on conservatives.
And the Democrats did. It's not. I think what A Black is saying isn't necessarily the case, because I'm just looking at this list, and if you're looking at it from the 1900s, like 1913, 1920, Democrat, and then it flipped Republican from 21 to 32.
Different kind of Democrat back then, you know. Like,
yeah, bro. For real.
I mean, so you just want to talk about since when? Since the 60s, since Lyndon Johnson and Kennedy took over? Because then you talking from 61 to 68 was Democrat.
Republican.
60, the whole 60s was Democrat, basically. Then Nixon and Ford was Republican.
And then Carter was Democrat.
Like the Republicans had a run in the 80s from Reagan to Bush, and that's really it.
That was 12 years.
And then they had Bush again. That it's been a swing from Democrat to Republican. They had 3 terms. Democrats had 2. Republicans had 2. Democrats had 2, and it's been back and forth. Like,
I don't think nobody
been overwhelming.
I don't think nobody had 4 in a row.
I want to let A Black land his point though.
I'm saying, well, if that's the case, then that diffuses Q's point of like it being the worst time under them. If it was half and half or swinging back and forth, then
the 80s up until the 80s was Republican.
The whole 80s was Republican.
That's what
that was like a 12-year stretch.
It was that 20-year period, and then we started getting Democrats, Bill Clinton, and folks started coming. Barack.
Okay.
Yeah, but that 80 stretch, that regime, that was mostly Republicans, and that was really kind of like. But you also had Democrats in local levels, state levels, and government levels too. So they all complicit too. So you can't really ever blame one. Like they all are either not getting shit done. Definitely for us, like, you know, Democrats was a part of the crack era too, and neighborhoods with drugs, like they was all complicit. They wasn't like trying to stop Republicans, like, oh, they're killing these niggas, please stop. Like they was in on it too. So
and same thing though too with the super predator bill. That was a bipartisan thing. That wasn't just Democrats that got that passed. Like both parties supported that bill.
But why did they call it Biden's law?
I think he wrote it, maybe.
Yeah, I think he was the lead.
I think he just wrote it. But I mean, like if y'all want to do an unpack on the crime bill, that's his own interesting thing, because it wasn't unpopular inside the Black community.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Them old heads, bro, and then the boule, bro, them same ones I keep talking about, bro. That's one of my biggest gripes, and they prove that. But one big thing is different.
But you about to say
though,
that in like complete out of context, also, because it was the crack era also happening, in which the communities were also being ravished by what those things were. So like the idea was something needed to happen, and like that's where like it becomes like a real big context. I ain't saying that it's right, but I do think that we lack heavy context whenever we do talk about the crime.
That sounds like an excuse, because there's an issue with opioids in the white community, and you don't see old white people talking about lock them all up the way old Black people talk about lock us all up, because they're not off code like our elders are. And then a big difference between Trump though, and Trump isn't a typical Republican, because if it was like Mitt Romney versus Kamala, I don't think you would see like Black people thinking about them. But Trump is the spot. Like the Republicans are scared of Trump. Like they tried to kill him, not them, but like they tried to assassinate that man like 3 times. He talks constantly. He calls out liberals. He calls out and he calls out conservatives, and he calls out the deep state and the FBI. Like this is not like you're a run of the mill like Republican for us to be comparing him to like the Reagans and things like that. I think people are voting for him like mainly for that reason, honestly. And a lot of people who were voting for Trump also voted for Obama. Like, especially a lot of like white people.
Gotcha. Yeah, nonetheless, I think a good crime bill conversation might be in order. But nonetheless, who has everybody answered the I guess the post question? G, did you tackle it?
I think I did. Maybe I didn't. What was the question?
I was trying to use that as a segue for me to find the question again. But
Where not? I think I did. Honestly, I mean, I don't think I got nothing else to add there.
I think you asked if you would be throwing your vote away if you vote.
That was
for,
like
that was
at the beginning
my
of
fault,
the
my
episode.
fault.
Yeah.
I'm so stuck on
All right, so
that.
nonetheless, I think that this is and if something that I do think that was skipped when it came down to critiquing the left, and that's what the question was. It was just critiquing the left. Whether it was the idea of like the wolves and sheep clothing. I think that
I love that quote. I'll just say that I love that quote. I think it applies. I'm not pro that party in large part for that reason. I feel like they I just feel like the policies aren't policies that end up really helping people that look like me somehow, some way. That idea of the tide lifting all boats, and it's like our boats still be at the same level.
Right, exactly.
Right. And so I guess a critique that I think has been that we haven't specifically addressed is I think that outside looking in, it is interesting looking at like their divisiveness and infighting that is happening as well. And like especially when you get into like the progressives versus the liberals, whether you go like even as simple or as complicated as like gender is, where there is like a stark line that is drawn inside there, in which those lines end up being like witch hunts for people within inside your same group, where if there's an overarching goal, sometimes it does seem that the other side can rally together to get that overarching goal. In comparison, sometimes it seems as though the left tends to cannibalize itself, and I think that is a just a critique, should I say?
Critique. That's a fair critique.
But nonetheless, it sounds like we've kind of talked through some critiques. What I like to do as we begin to start getting close to the call-in section, I like to run down a couple like general topics and see if y'all are conservative, if you're a liberal on these specific topics. Y'all let me know. So we'll start with immigration. Are you conservative or are you liberal?
Closing, conservative.
That doesn't mean open border versus closed border, right?
No, it doesn't. That's not the difference inside the policies.
I mean,
Okay.
All right, so I think that
I would be more
the biggest difference inside, if we say Trump and Kamala's policy is Trump wants to he wants to keep, like, if he doesn't want to catch and release in America. He wants to catch and like take them back to Mexico. He wants to deport or find a way to deport all immigrants that exist and build the wall. Kamala, well, I think the Democrats are still building the wall, to be honest. But they're kind of still with the whole catch and keep in America and work the whole thing out through the system. And that's kind of their biggest difference. So immigration, are you more liberal or conservative?
I would still be more conservative. Just based on everything I've learned about what happens when people come over to this country and the fight that we're still fighting in this country, I have to be more conservative.
I think I'm in the middle. Like with legal immigration, I feel like it should be controlled as far as which areas you can immigrate to. maybe like Middle America, those like unpopulated areas, like relegated to certain states, and like
that's a great point.
got this opportunity, they can build community there, and y'all can do whatever. Versus like then it's not no fear of like coming to other cities and taking jobs and all that. On the illegal side, I feel like you can make it over here without getting caught, getting popped, then good, you made it. And you can get caught, then if you do get caught, then hey, they got you. You know, send your ass back. But if it's legal, I feel like it's cool, you know. And then, like I said, if it's overwhelming numbers, which I don't think is really like that with any group, but if it ever is, they should just like section it off to certain states that's available. You come to this country, you can live in Nebraska, you can live in North Dakota, you live in these like places that ain't nobody out there. You know, they just like they throw up apartments out around here, throw some shits up out there, and then create some communities and new economies in those areas or whatever. That would be forward moving and progressive. But that's only if you get overwhelming numbers. I don't, unless we're getting that from the southern border. Like I say, the Mexican and stuff. Like I say, if you want to come here illegally, do it like everybody else got to do for every other country when you traveling and stuff. But if it's illegal, like I say, you don't get caught until.
I'm not mad at the mayor of Charlotte's plan for immigration. Send them all out to South Dakota. Get them in rural towns and townhouses and make them work and build the American economy. I ain't mad at that.
Yeah,
Trey, talk to us.
Yeah, A Black, I don't put them in North Dakota. I agree with that. Not in Chicago, not in any of these black towns.
Let's move all the amnesty cities and the right to work states and the sanctuary cities. Just throw them out there.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that would be a consolation prize. But when you say between liberal and conservative, that's tough because liberals, like they're like DACA and amnesty, but conservatives, they also did, like Reagan did a mass amnesty too. And also they're all about cheap labor. So I think they kind of pretended they're against immigration, but really they're not. So I would say I'm more in line with Trump's policy, which didn't he say he was going to bring back the Alien Enemies Act of 1798?
Oh, so you a Trumper, not like a conservative.
As far as immigration goes, as far as like the border goes, very much so, bro.
Okay.
Because he's all about. He said if you come here again after you've been deported, they'll give you a mandatory 10-year prison sentence. And if he said you come a third time, it might be, you know what I'm saying, some, in a guard somewhere, you know what I mean? And also they said that if you kill an American citizen or somebody in law enforcement and you're illegal, then that's automatic capital punishment too. So I like that tough on the border because every country is tough on the border. Like we talk about Pan-Africanism. I can't go to an African country and be a migrant and legal without getting hemmed up. So I mean, like, why are we the only country where our tax dollars go to non-citizens? And Trump is totally against that. So I'm not liberal conservative. I'm just Trump's policy. And also, I would be against birthright citizenship too, to be absolutely honest with you. And also, I'm not even sure if you should really be able to vote if you have immigrant background, honestly, because it's on. Whoa. I mean, I think
ain't no way there's no way you can pass that, right? Because it's a lot of white folk that got immigrant background.
Even if they naturalized citizens,
Well, he said he's not for that, like the birth
period.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about birthright. I'm talking about naturalized citizens, like people who come over here and take the test to become a citizen.
Nah,
he ain't for that.
I don't think you should be able to vote unless you can trace your lineage back to the founder.
Then nobody should be able to vote, bro. It'd be just me and you.
All these made up lines everywhere that people didn't put in the world to call this a country and this a sovereign nation. Like,
I mean, this is a nation.
But it's so many immigrants that came to America. You can't say no.
I mean, I know it's my project. It's my project 35. I know
borders were man-made.
That man gonna rewrite Ellis Island. Fuck Ellis Island.
I know it's a lofty goal, but
Project 35.
What about the fact
he's so crazy?
And the borders change. Like the border started with 13 colonies, then expanded past the Mississippi. So it's like
semantics, bro.
No, it's not semantics. Because what if you can trace your lineage back to like California to the 1500s when the Spanish was settled and it's of the land before maybe even somebody on our side could claim some lineage, but they're in the borders. That's what I'm saying. It's not semantics. It's like that's the reality. Like the borders change.
I would say that they shouldn't be able to vote either. Because I think if you have an immigrant background, then you're going to vote on behalf of your background, your family over there, kind of like Kamala doing right now, where she's voting for her immigrant on behalf of the other immigrants.
But
so just us and the slave masters, pretty much, right?
America was founded by people who immigrated here, right?
No, it was founded by Black Americans.
No, I'm talking about America as an entity, not as I'm talking about the corporation of the United States of America. That was founded by a group of white immigrants.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. There's some things about the people in that group that might have been, there was a Moorish presence over here, and we don't know exactly what all the people look like around that time.
They still would be immigrants. They would still be immigrants.
A lot of the stuff is whitewashed too. Like I forgot one of the founding fathers had indigenous mother or something like that, but he was still in there. So I'm not going to just say that it was just all white men that were part of founding this country, but that's on the
so that you do have a belief that America was founded by Black people.
I think there
were some black people.
They weren't all Black, but I do think that some of the people that
just some Black people.
Yeah. Because we had a contract with I think Morocco was the first place to recognize United States sovereignty after they got their independence. There was a relationship there, and also with the piracy and the fighting that over there, they had a relationship with the country over there. And then there was a Moorish presence in America back then too. So I think a lot of if you like read and don't go by like the standard curriculum, then you'll see that there are Black people there. So I'll say that to say that I'm not just like all the white people that founded this country. There's some Black people there too. They're also Black indigenous. They're Black, enslaved.
Got you. I don't want to get too bogged down on it. I got a few more. So hot topic. Abortion. Liberal, conservative. Toss it in there.
Liberal. I ain't.
Oh shit! For real?
Yeah, I ain't never gonna have a baby. I ain't never gonna push one out. I ain't gonna tell nobody what they should do with their body. It ain't up to me. Now I do have thoughts on like men having more rights once the baby is here if women get that choice. But like I think women should be able to do whatever they want to do with their body. It ain't for us. Ain't a woman.
What about the baby? What about the baby's body?
Trey, just answer your question. No?
Yeah, I said what I said. I got all 10 of my toes. I ain't being
Trey went from looking like a proud daddy to an upset stepdad.
No. John be thinking independent. We've been having a lot of these conversations even before this podcast. Crazy part. This is that same topics.
Yeah.
Trey, you got the flow. Come on, talk to us.
Man, I am. Unless you were forced to do the you know what I'm saying, do the nasty, then you made that decision. I'm with Mark Robinson on that. And if it's like incest or there's a medical emergency, but that's a very small percentage of the actual thing. A lot of people actually do that because they didn't use one of the 100 some forms of birth control and they were irresponsible. And they want to deal with it by ending the beating heart that's growing in their womb. And I'm not really, I think that's sinful, honestly. But I'm not in favor. I'm not in favor of that, especially when they push it on the Black community.
Got you. G, don't take the bait. A Black. Your thoughts?
Yeah, abortion, man. Brian McKnight to these kids, yo. That's
crazy.
The choice to do what they gotta do, like gotta say, I'm not
Brian McKnight.
Yeah, I'm not paying for it. If you're a bad bitch, if you are ugly, I will pay for it.
Why are you messing with ugly women?
Sometimes their body.
Bro, you done had a hard Wednesday night before.
You know, you got you.
No.
Trey, I know you.
Man, chill out, bro. Nah, it's made up, bro. It's made up.
You got some insight.
No cabinet.
I'm fucking with him. I'm messing with him.
Yeah, John likes a kid.
Yeah, for real, I feel like it should just be a limit on the time limit you can do it. Like I don't know, like the scientific, the embryo shit, but you know, you shouldn't be able to do no abortion and you got a big round out of belly or something. You know what I mean? But like, if you like a month in, 2 months, whatever makes sense, it just should be. It should be a limit. You should have the choice to do it, but it should be a limit, so it's not irresponsible. And like, you're just not going every 2 weeks to get an abortion, or people not forced to it. And then I think they should add some counseling into it. If you get a certain amount, like you get up to 3, like I gotta sit down, like all right, what's going? If you want to get more, you gotta go to this counseling session. Because like it gotta be like something behind it if you like getting multiple ones. Like so I don't think it's normalized killing it, but it should be the choice. Like circumstances happen, you know, not even just the extreme stuff like, you know, forced situations, but sometimes it's like people have sex and it's like, all right, we really don't have no baby. Like, and you need the choice to do it. And then hopefully you'll be more responsible if that situation happens. Usually that kind of shakes most people into reality, like, oh shit, this is real, let me protect myself. But if not, and you just out here reckless, then yeah, it should be limits to doing it, and then there should be a time limit to when you can do it. Like past like 3 months, like all right, now you gotta have your babies. Like
Okay, got you. G, landing with you.
Yeah, man. Me personally, it's not something I personally like agree with, but from like a government standpoint, I'm liberal in that. I don't think it's the government's business to make that decision for other people. Now, that said, providing funding for people to get it done, I think is ridiculous. Like you got to come out your own pockets for that. Like,
okay.
So you know, I'm not that liberal where it's like,
yeah,
here's a coupon.
Yeah.
Go take care of that. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm not like that. But I do think it's not the government's right.
Okay, got you. Social safety net. Are you conservative or are you liberal?
That mean welfare?
That does account for welfare, but just in general, having a social safety net, that is a more or less liberal policy. That's like the social democratic way, I guess you would say. Free market with a social safety net. Are you pro social safety net, anti? I think conservatively, like they kind of push back against a lot of the safety nets to it.
I think hunger is good. You know, I think
hunger is good. Okay.
I think I mean, you can't save everybody, and it's a disservice to the people that's actually doing the work to try to save everybody. So I'm a little more conservative.
Okay, and by that meaning, so if you are underprivileged and poor, you just kind of like just got to figure that shit out.
I mean, I think if you're born into the situations, there should be some help. But I think
that's literally what the safety net.
I think it should be for children. I don't think there should be hungry children. But
I think that's what the safety net is. Well, I don't know. I guess like regular, can regular adults get it?
But like, there's a lot of adults that take advantage of the welfare system, the way it's set up, and they that's what they take advantage of it. And it's not even just a black issue. There's a lot of white people that take advantage.
I guess. Okay.
That, like, I just think without that, people would there would be a lot more motivation. It's kind of Darwinism, survival of the fittest. I think.
So with unemployment being like 3%, does that like make any difference? Like unemployment isn't an issue.
You said unemployment isn't an issue?
Nah, like if we talk about black people, like it's record low unemployment right now. It's under like.
So
like
why do we need safety nets if everybody's working? Like, I mean, I think there's some things to be said about inflation. and like the corporatocracy and price gouging that could be addressed. But I don't think there should be just a universal safety net if you just gonna be lazy.
Okay.
Not with that.
That's interesting. Okay. Trey, talk to us.
I think I kind of might lean more liberal. I would like us to have something, especially like within our own community, where I would like to see like the church kind of pick that up, or if we could do something, because I think there's too much wealth in America for us to have like skid rows and things like that. I'm not really sure. Maybe they can go to North Dakota with the with the migrants that A-Black talking about, or something like that. Because again, if we have a place where a single person like a very small percentage of the wealth in this nation is owned. I mean, a very large percentage of the wealth is owned by a very small percentage of people, and then we have all these people that are poor. I don't think that's right. And like, how much more money do they need, and how much more incentive do they need to have more money? Like, they can't even spend all that money, or passing it down. It's like they got money for the next several generations. So I think we can do a better job of that.
Gotcha. And I guess like the fair pushback to that would be, does that incentivize pacification?
I think if you are pacified with having the bare minimum and not, just be on Skid Row, then I think that, that's your choice to be that way. But, okay. I think that's just more like, the right thing to do. Like,
so you think people have the right to the bare minimum?
Right? They have the right to the bare minimum. You're right. That's not going to kill anybody's motivation, because who wants the bare minimum? You're still going to want more than that.
A-Black, talk to us. We got two in the back end. As we finish this up, we'll start bringing up.
Am I more liberal or conservative on? What's the topic?
Oh, you're talking about the statement was social safety net. That goes from like Social Security up to welfare, pretty much. Like just in essence that like there should be a bare minimum of a quality of life as an American.
Yeah, I think I'm more liberal in that sense that you should get to a certain age, work a certain amount of years where the country should be able to take care of you. At a certain time, like I said, we have the money to be able to do certain things if we get out of other people's business. Like, we don't have to have war everywhere. Army bases everywhere around the world, and we put in trillions of dollars in those areas where you can have like programs, you can build these other communities in Middle America, rehabilitate people, have immigrants go there, like create industry. And then people not working their ass off when they're 65, 70 years old, they can chill and enjoy life, and you can get you a little check or whatever from the government or something. But it should be a safety net. Like, I hate when I be seeing when people having to work out here. Unless you choose to. There's that people that do choose to stay active and they want to do things, but you should have something at a certain age. Like, you got a country that can facilitate that, man. Like, people don't need to be looking at 65, 70, 80 years old.
Gotcha. G, round us off.
Yeah, man. I think honestly, I was thinking like I might even be progressive when it comes to this. Like, right, because like I'm pro healthcare as a right, and I say this because America has the money and the resources, right? So it's like, I think from an America perspective, there's no reason why we can't have free healthcare for citizens. I don't see why public education through college can't be provided for at, if not free, at a extreme, discount compared to what it costs today. I don't see why we can't provide free lunch and breakfast for public school system.
Started by Black Panthers.
Yeah, so like as I'm saying, I'm borderline like progressive when it comes to this idea, because I think America as an institution, it's wealthy, and it built that wealth off of the citizens. So working class citizens, and that's just like not even just obviously America got built off of slavery, but even post slavery, it's built its back off the working class, and so I feel like some of those benefits should trickle down. So yeah, I would say mostly liberal, if not progressive, but there are some things where it's kind of like I would have certain rules as it relates to like programs that are meant to help with like SNAP, Section 8, things of that nature. I think those are beneficial, but they're not administered the right way.
Gotcha. Probably like some way to kind of like segue off of them. Eventually.
Exactly. You gotta wing them off.
Gotcha. So nonetheless, we are now entering our call-in section. No ad hominems live. And with that said, we have two in the back end. We have two favorites of the show, Kamu, Kofi. Welcome to the show. I guess we'll start with Kofi. Your take on the problem, your critique on liberals and the left, or just your general thoughts on the conversation so far. 2 minutes on the clock. We'll keep you up on the panel. Yeah, talk to us.
Good conversation. I like the conversation. Two statement. I got two statements and two questions, but I'll get the statements in. When we're talking about, I know we're talking about liberals right now, but you kind of, some reports talk about Republicans. So when it comes to political stances, I think what my view of history and the Constitution is that Black people by default are liberal and progressive. Right? If you're not liberal and progressive, then you're conservative. To be a conservative is to white conservatism. There's no such thing as Black conservatism in a white power structure. So if you're saying, hey, look, you're conservative, you're basically saying you want to conserve the white straight Judeo-Christian way of life. So a Black person saying that to me is just insane. All right. So that's why we have amendments. We have the 14th Amendment, the 13th Amendment. Black people couldn't vote. All these things is not a conservative stance. So by default, when it comes to pushing bills and laws and things like that, we're mostly progressive and liberals, right? Far as political generalizations, I get there's a spectrum, but what I find out was happening here a little bit is like if someone says, hey, look, I'm a liberal, I'm progressive. Oh, so you're down with LGBTQ, which is kind of like more like fear mongering. If I say I'm progressive, I'm a liberal, I'm expect someone to say, okay, you're progressive on what issue? You're liberal on what issue? Because I'm conservative.
Okay, I'm about to say, do you differentiate the two?
Yeah. Well, to me, that's kind of the same. Because to me, they're kind of like synonyms. I really don't get. To me, it's almost kind of like splitting hairs, but I do see what you're saying. But on conservative, so I'm more conservative. I'm a little bit more open wide now, but Trey was talking about the whole thing with Obama. He was saying, hey, look, he wasn't even put a vote up for it. Obama just said, okay, gay marriage is just a law of the land. And I'm like, God damn, like we couldn't vote on that. You know what I'm saying? So with that, I'm more conservative. I do have more conservative values, but my conservative values is not going to overlap my liberal values as me as a Black man when it comes to laws being implemented that benefit me. To me to be totally conservative, I don't care about the Black vote. I don't care about the 14th Amendment. I want Jim Crow back and all that stuff. So I don't want to take the time up. I have questions, but I'll wait till later.
Okay, Kamu, talk to us.
Hey, gents, how's it going? Hey, man, America has a way of twisting words and terms and turning them into something that is ridiculous. There was an episode here we were talking about woke and just thinking about how America has turned that word into something that is very interesting. Liberal literally means willing to hear people out, people's opinions out, and having general consensus about or whatever they believe in. But when you look at American liberalism, you find nothing like that. It's literally people coming with ideas and shoving them to other people's throats. The same way with democracy. There's nothing democratic about the United Snakes. Um, if if you are a man and you have a family, but you spend 44% of your income on buying weapons, what kind of a man are you? Are you able to, like, you can't even take care of your kids with the money that you have? You spend it on weapons. You just said now. I'm actually shocked to find out that there's no basic social services like lunch, school lunch at schools, like public schools. It's ridiculous. South Africa's economy, it's like it's not even doesn't even equate to the state of New York alone. But bro, if I can tell you the social services that we have here, it's crazy. Like, for me personally, America is a sick nation. Like, it's a rotten cake that looks nice from afar, but the more you eat, you realize that this is sick. America is a sick nation, bro. Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I'll allow the panel to I got you. Hold on. Yeah, I'll allow the the panel to hop in. Let's try and keep this part like maybe 4 to 5 minutes. I already kind of feel the heat steaming.
I was gonna say not too
So
much.
yeah, and then we'll go to the next question, and I'll yeah, we can have a full conversation. Johnny, I think Johnny wanted to go. Then G hit him.
Well, no, I ain't. I was in and out. I just like we're trying, Camu. Like, I mean, it like, and especially like the black people. Like, America is not the best country in the world, but like all of us would probably choose America over 99% of the countries out there. And I think most people in this world would. So I think we are beneficial to, live in this country, especially in the time that we are living in. Because I might not have said that 60 years ago, but today I definitely like being in America.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm probably choosing America over there.
Oh, no question.
But G, good.
And I would just say, like, I
love you, Camu, but
I agree. America does spend too much money on the military industrial complex as a whole. Like, I think I would agree there. However, if you have a lot of money, then you can spend 40% of your budget on guns and still have plenty of money to take care of other things. Like, ultimately, that's the thing about America being capitalist is it's so much money relative to other places in the world. We can afford to spend y'all's GDP just on our military alone. That's what I'm saying. Like, because we're so grand, we can spend people's GDP just on a small piece of our military and still have money to do other things. They like to use this excuse that, like, oh, the money's there, you can take it from the military. It's so much money here, you don't even have to take it from the military, and we can still get these other things that we asking for if we being honest. So it's a lot of money floating around in America. It's the land of the free.
It's unchecked capitalism.
Anybody else?
No, I'm just saying it's unchecked capitalism. Like, G is right. We have a lot of money. I mean, we spend more money on our military than any other country in the world. So, Tupac says we got money for war, but can't feed the poor. You know what I'm saying? That is true. So from a socialistic aspect, a lot of countries, so-called first world countries, they have certain things that we don't even have, like healthcare, free healthcare, free, social programs that helps the community. So yeah, G is right. Just wanted to piggyback on that.
Gotcha. All right, so I'm gonna toss out one more as I bring up another guest, another favorite of the show. I would like to also again say before I bring up one of our favorites, the show is non-ad hominem. After show, y'all do what y'all want to.
That's TBI.
But bring it to the stage, I will be bringing For the Family. But before then,
no ad.
Equality. Are you liberal, conservative?
I mean,
neither.
Yeah, I'm independent on that. I think equality is based on. I mean, I think every man, every woman has basic universal rights, but I think there's a lot of stuff out here that self-determination and
Got you. So self-determination will beat the system. Is that more or less what you're saying?
Why can't we say we bosses now? Why we got to be conservative?
Well, because voting ain't gonna beat the system. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that ain't. I mean, we can try a lot of stuff that ain't gonna beat the system. So I mean,
facts.
it might be
Come on, South Carolina.
You say what?
I say get on his ass.
Nah, I mean, I ain't on that, my boy. But
oh yeah, but this isn't even a stance that I like. I don't have a stance in this. I'm just asking the question.
What is your stance?
For the family? Talk to me.
Oh, this nigga already, oh man.
You
shout out to y'all though, man.
Oh no, for sure. That might
I
be.
saw you over there with Kofi ass over there. I saw you over there.
Oh, you watched?
You saw me over there with Kofi.
Yeah, I saw you over there. He won't let me up. I saw you.
Oh,
I see what type of
my brother. But yeah.
What side of the fence was he on?
So all right. So where we at? Do you want to get my take on equality?
I want to know what you about.
What I'm about. So like it. I can tell you. I usually like to tell everybody tune in 4:30s for whatchamacallit, but I lean way more. You can't talk and listen at the same time. I can answer the question.
I'm trying to hear you. Go ahead.
But no, I lean way more conservative. I am a person that votes my own personal interest, which would also mean that. So again, I'm against the idea of the system saving me. That is my personal opinion. But this isn't like I think you're trying to interview me right now. Like, in which we could do that in a little bit. Right now, I'm tossing the question to the panel. What's up, brother?
Okay.
No, go ahead. You was asking me a question.
Yeah. What does it mean to be a conservative?
All right, so
we talking about for equality, like taking a
conservative
right
now.
stance
I don't know if you just
equality.
kind of like joined to where we was at inside the conversation. Right now, we're just going like individual, like
I'm talking
points
to you.
But so like this is where you're steering it away from like we're answering as a panel a question. And again, I would love to get into that conversation with you on the after show. That's great, and I can unpack that all the way. Not to steer away from this. Like I said, when it comes down to this topic, when it comes down to equality and this, like, quote unquote, the idea of like the system saving us, I am more so like individual. When it comes, like if you want to say quote unquote bootstrap, I think that financial freedom is going to save Black people. Like not relying on the system is going to save Black people over quote unquote the system. That'd be my
get rid of
my
Whitey
take.
then, right? We should get rid of Whitey then. You said the system, right?
We should get all right. Yeah,
I didn't make out what he said either.
Get rid of what?
Whitey. You said the system, right?
Oh, Whitey on the moon. Yeah.
Or you would just operate outside of the system. Yes.
Not relying on the system mean get rid of Whitey, right?
Or the system. You could just from the system.
I think that ends up being its own thing. But
I'll get the start.
For the family, I would love for you to answer the question. This is great to get your input. Tell us what Detroit's thinking right now. Y'all just had Kamala out there.
Oh, that raggedy hoe.
Yeah, that one.
That drunk bitch. Are you serious? What you asking?
Let's get to the. We want to hear your perspective.
No ad hominem for the presidential candidates.
That ain't no. That's a fact.
What's up, bro?
All right, pass.
Yeah. All right. So, Trey, talk to us.
As far as equality,
Equality,
I'm back to what you. I think we got to get equality on ourselves. I'm just pro equality. I don't even know how you can even say that's a liberal or conservative way. I think the liberal way to equality is really one step forward, like 10 steps back, and then the conservative approach to equality. No, I would honestly, because if it's something meritocracy and it's not like based on like white supremacy. Because before it was DEI, it was equal opportunity. I'm more in favor of equal opportunity than I'm in favor of something like DEI or something that affirmative action or something that they can
But
easily.
Isn't America built off nepotism?
No.
It's built on like white supremacy. So I guess in a way you could say nepotism.
Yeah, as nepotism.
America built off of us. What you talking about nepotism?
Oh, we're talking about like the structure, like the caste system, like what that's built on.
Created white supremacy was nepotism. They was handing that bitch down.
America built off of haters. They haters.
Yeah.
Nepotism is part of that.
There's some haters. That's all.
Johnny, talk to us. Equality.
I already said, yeah, I'm independent. I think like I mean, there's
talk to us.
Yeah.
So
damn, you just cut him off like that? Gee, damn.
I answered it already. I already answered
You said,
but the family came in to come instigate. It's all right.
No, yo, I real talk. I think this word equality was maybe created by Democrats at some point. It's not something I personally believe in. Equality, like nope, like equal is like in chemistry and math. It's not in like life and reality. Like there's not equality.
Hey, G, do you see our power working?
Say it again.
We're about to run this bitch again, nigga. Do you see our power working in progress? We winning.
Our
right
power?
now, yeah, we winning. You don't see it.
Are you talking about the equality or whole or a different? Or are you pivoting?
About power. Do you see our power working in progress right now?
It's progressive.
We're showing the world how to get power right now. You don't think so?
Are you talking about on here? Oh, I feel what you're saying. Yeah, for sure. But ain't no but. That just wasn't what we was talking about equality.
I got you. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I agree with your point. I do agree, but in terms of equality, it ain't a real thing to me. You know what I'm saying? We all don't start at the same point. We're not born in the same place.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Thoughts on I guess the quote unquote classic term equality of opportunity.
Yeah, it's not real.
Opportunity is for immigrants. We don't have no opportunities.
You can't even like enforce it to make it equal. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's always going to be inherent biases. People going to look out for their own, the nepotism, etc. So like you said, Q, I'm more like along the lines of what you said. Like you gotta build it yourself ultimately. Like that's the only way to get there.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Kofi, talk to us.
Please rephrase the question.
Liberal, conservative. The question is equality. Where do you land?
You are very cavalier with this damn Jamaican. Go ahead. Say it
again, brother. You being on the panel, but right now, again, like this is the regular show. We gonna get through these questions. We appreciate you on the panel, though.
Your whole demeanor change talking to this.
Basically,
I re-asked the question, but go ahead, Kofi.
Yeah. Now, basically, like I said, I'm more independent. I checked my voter registration. I'm not even affiliated with a party. So, but I do lean independent. So what it is right now is that I don't.
Again, bro. Go ahead.
You can mute him. You know that. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
Anyway, so like I said, like I said before, I'm kind of fall dead set in the middle. So but I would say I would tend to be a little bit more on the left than I would be on the right. So what G was saying. Yeah, no one's really equal in that sense. A sensible person will read the room politically and be like, "Hey, look, this will benefit me here, so this is where I'm going to go." So that's pretty much it.
Gotcha. TBI, talk to us.
Oh, TBI, it was good, bro.
Yeah.
What's good, Trey? What's good? Brothers, great. Another great topic. Great show. Did you want me to answer the question, Q, about equality?
Like, so you're fresh in the panel. So whether you want to talk about the problem, your issues with liberals, with the left, or like something that you heard, or you can answer the question. It's up to you, bro.
Definitely. No, so yeah, I mean, I guess going to the top of the liberals, yeah, I can't stand liberals. It's time for definitely a Democrat Party to go down because they've been using us for multiple decades. So I think it's I'd rather have, if you're gonna be a white supremacist, I'd rather you just tell me straight up than act like you're cool and you sticking a knife in my back. So that's kind of what the liberals have been doing all these years. So it's just time for us to let them die, and then in 2028 see if somebody comes with a better solution. So.
When you say
Gotcha.
something about the liberals and white
Kamu, finish this off.
that sounds
When
crazy as hell.
Pause. Hey,
say it again.
America.
We can't hear you, brother.
Not talking about. You can hear me?
Now we can.
When I talk about America, I'm referring to Washington DC. I'm not typically or generally about black brothers and sisters, and I understand that you try and it's okay, but and
What the hell
again
that
I
mean?
see black
We try.
I
We
see
try.
black
What you
people in
mean?
America as prisoners of war. I don't see them as you'll never be American in my
We will
so
never be
like
American. And we will never be African in your eyes either.
you bro.
Back.
Well,
What you
that is
talking
up to
about?
you, bro. But black people in America are
I'm not
African.
your brother,
If you don't
nigga.
want to,
Nigga,
it's okay.
straight.
You said
But
we'll
let me
never be
make my
American.
point.
That's crazy.
Go ahead,
All right,
brother.
here we go.
Yeah,
After show, they got started
Man, if we
early.
Yeah,
get
but
some
hey,
rain,
G, go ahead and get the link together. But yeah, Kamu, go ahead and land your point. Like 30 seconds ish, and then we gotta kind of wrap this up.
30 seconds. Oh, okay. It's just social service. When it comes down to social services, man, it's ridiculous. You cannot give me a good enough reason why America would spend 44% of the budget into the military. It would never make sense. It's just sick to me. So like you can come up with a bunch of excuses, but it will never make sense why you'd spend so much money creating weapons of mass destructions to invade people and to force people into your free market
we're not
bullshit.
been
Like
fighting.
it's
Weapons of mass destruction. This is what we're
Gotcha.
talking about.
All right, so fellas, give everybody a quick chance to kind of like shut out. Where is he at? Kamu, you killing us. But everybody kind of land like let everybody know where they can find you at. We ain't really got too much time for a last dissertation, but you just let them know where they can find you at. G.
You already know at GSHPOD, hashtag GSHPOD. Check out the G Shit podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Ha.
David Walker, aka FBA Zone. Talk to him.
Check out Professor Black Truth and Jason Black. That's where I get a lot of my information. They articulate it way better than me. So check them out.
Hey, did you see? You
Heard
see
you.
the
Johnny, talk to him. Let them know where they can find you.
Oh yeah, every Sunday 4:30 p.m. you can find me at the To Be Fair Show. Also Johnny P. Newton. If you got smoke with me, send it to the DM. Also, you got love for me. See the Cash App right there. JRock989. Appreciate y'all.
Tell them where to send the news.
Kofi.
Yeah, shout out to y'all. Another good show. Thanks for coming through. Shout out to Rel. I know Rel ain't here, but shout out to Rel and everything. Yeah, good show and everything, and that's pretty much it. Peace to the panel.
Yes,
Y'all
sir.
can find me at Kofi the Black Critic. I got my own YouTube channel. Peace.
Gotcha. For the family, let them know where they can find you.
Oh, you can't find me nowhere. That's the purpose.
Got it. All right, Kamu.
It's Kamumuloi on Twitter, on Facebook, and
We don't
Instagram.
want to hear that bullshit. Shut up.
Gotcha. TBI, Landis, FBA Zone. Let them know where they can find you.
Nah,
In
it's definitely America first, FBA first. That's it, man. Another great show, man. Enjoy it.
Yes, sir. Again, this has been
I be seeing
Unpacked,
you
presented
sneaking
by the
over there.
To Be Fair
No,
Show
you be over there
and the
cup of
G-ish
nigga.
podcast. With
I done seen
that said, again, we appreciate the panel. We appreciate the conversation. This has been great, and we out. Peace.